Good evening, everybody, and welcome to high school basketball. It's junior varsity action tonight. This evening's game coming to you from the Convent Avenue Gym here at Mount St. Joseph Academy. We got the starting lineups. Mark Carboneau to do the play-by-play, and along with Brian Mayhew. The Raiders, number 23, Jesse Baker being introduced. Number 30, John Paul Lavanciere. Number 21, Joe Kelligiri. Number 32, Tom Nickel. Tom's a sophomore. And Kevin Dumas, number 31 for the Raiders. So there's your starting five for the Raiders, and now we'll have the starting lineup for Coach Mike Wood's Mounties here.
Do we have the numbers right tonight, Mark?
I think so. I think we're in good shape here. Number 13. Well, we did it again. That's Brian Hart, though, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Josh Polgar is number 20.
Number 20, Polgar. That one's good. Number 14, that's Danny Boudreau. Yeah, we took some heat in that first game there. Number 50, that's Jeff Weatherby. And
Tom McCann.
Number 25, Tom McCann. So that rounds out the Mountie starting lineup. And tonight's officials, I didn't catch the other fellow. We know Steve Morrow's out there. Brian, how about the other fellow? You know him?
No, I don't.
Okay, sorry about that. But
let's yell out there, hey, what's your name?
What's your name? So we're getting ready for
we'll get his name.
Action here. The Raiders and the Mounties here. Junior varsity action with the varsity game to follow. And Jack Healey ready to do the play-by-play for that one. The Raiders and the Mounties here, the second meeting of the season, the first time around up at Keefe. It was the Raiders coming out on the plus side, 53-51 over the Mounties. And what I thought was probably one of the better JV games, Brian, this year that we've witnessed.
I'm just zooming in on Mrs. Polgar up here. She's videoing for her son Josh.
So we're just about ready here. We've got Tom Nickel, I should say, starting the center, jumping center, and Weatherby. That's Jeff Weatherby for the Mounties here, ready to tip it off.
As the crowd still comes in.
Yeah, they're filing in at about 20 minutes ago. It didn't seem like there was going to be anybody here, but the 6 o'clock start. We're underway, and this is. It's a
little different angle here that we're filming from.
Yeah, it is. We're almost at ground level here. Baker goes out to Kelligiri, and he's got Lavanciere out there. He goes to Dumas. Kevin Dumas now goes to the top. Nickel looking for someone underneath, and he dishes at the Kelligiri. There's a whistle, and they got him for steps. So Kelligiri with steps, and the Mounties will take over. And let's see. All right, this is Hart bringing it up for the Mounties. Being guarded by Kelligiri. They go over to the big guy there. That's McCann. McCann gets it to Weatherby. Weatherby looking around, back to McCann. The Mounties very deliberate here, opening 7-19 here into the first quarter of action. And Boudreau. Now he gets it to Weatherby. Back out top to McCann. Along the baseline, and the shot goes up by Polgar. It's blocked by Dumas. Kevin Dumas with the block. Baker brings it up for the Raiders. Baker setting up the offense now for the Raiders. The Mounties with that zone, and it goes into Nickel. Nickel goes up with the shot, and it's good. Tom Nickel with the bucket. 2-0 Raiders. 6:40 here left in the first quarter of play to go to Polgar. Josh Polgar now with the basketball, working around on the offensive side of things here for the Mounties. Gets it over to Boudreau. Boudreau now. Back out to Hart. He goes to McCann. McCann being guarded, hounded out there by Dumas. I think they're going to get Kevin for the personal, though. So Kevin Dumas.
Go ahead, Mark.
Picking up the personal. Jump in there. There was a little bit of a pause, and I said, okay, it's time. I had to check and make sure I was putting the fall into the right name here.
I figured I'd jump in on the pause, and we came in the same time again.
And Tom McCann puts the Mounties on the board here with 6:17 left first quarter. And Tom gets them both. So McCann draws the Mounties even with the Raiders here. 2-2 with 6:14 left. First quarter from the Convent Avenue gym here. Junior varsity action. Dumas gets his own rebound, follows it up, and he gets the bounce. Dumas with the basket. 4-2 Raiders. Bringing it up for the Mounties is Hart now. Being guarded by Caligiuri. Gets it inside. Tom Nickel along the baseline. A nice shot by, Tom McCann. A couple of Toms in there. So McCann with the bucket. And it's 4-4. All knotted up here with 5:42 left. And Baker puts the Raiders back up 6-4. Jesse Baker with the drive. 5:33 left. First quarter action here from Convent Avenue. Danny Boudreau now gets it to Josh Polgar. Polgar. And he goes down to Hart. Hart's going to take the three-pointer, and that one doesn't go. It's rebounded by McCann. He puts it off the glass. Nickel brings it down for the Raiders, and he gets it to Baker. The first matchup, the Mounties were torrid there with the three-point shots, Brian.
I remember that.
Boy, they came out smoking in the first quarter. They go inside. Dumas, and off the glass. Nice save by Nickel, but it goes to McCann for the Mounties. Hart will bring it up. It's at the Josh Polgar. Polgar doesn't go, and we got a whistle. And they're going to get Weatherby for the personal here for the Mounties. Jeff Weatherby picks up the first personal. And let's see, both teams with one team foul. So bringing it up for the Raiders is Baker, 6-4. The Raiders on top with 4:39. And would that go against Nickel?
Number 30.
Number 30, okay. That's on John Paul Lavanciere for the Raiders. And so he picks up the foul, and the Mounties will bring it up 6-4. The Raiders on top with 4:35 left in the first quarter here. Brian Hart for the Mounties gets it to Polgar. Back to Hart. And a nice block there by Caligiuri. The Mounties will retain possession here out of bounds. 4:23 left in the first quarter. And Coach Steve Sampson going to his bench here. The shot by McCann doesn't go, and it's rebounded by Baker. Brings it up for the Raiders. 4:16 left first quarter. 6-4 Raiders on top. Jesse Baker setting up the offense. Baker, Caligiuri, Nickel, Dumas, and Lavanciere in for the Raiders. Lavanciere's shot doesn't go. Dumas with the rebound. Ball bounced around. Polgar picks it up for the Mounties. Josh Polgar gets it to Brian Hart now. Hart over to Danny Boudreau. Dan, dangerous from three-point land. Puts it up and in, and it's a tie ball game. 6-6 with 3:44 left. Boudreau with the bucket. Back comes Baker for the Raiders to Dumas. Back to Baker, over to Nickel, and Tom loses the handle, gets it back. He's on the end line, so it'll go back to the Mounties. Checking in for the Raiders is number 22, Matt Shortle. Too close, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Well, we got the mic situated. Hopefully in the right position. 3:22 left. Boudreau. Boy, he's aching to take the three-pointer there, Brian. And a whistle underneath, and we're going to get...
oh, it's MSJ.
Yeah.
5-0. Is that 2 on him?
Weatherby. What'd they call it?
That's 2 on him.
So 2 on Jeff Weatherby. Moving screen, or was that the call?
I didn't even see it marked, to tell you the truth.
All right, so checking in for the Mounties, number 55, and that's John Ryder. John Ryder in the ball game for MSJ. Baker brings it up. Matt Schroeder's in for the Raiders. They go inside to Dumas, and Kevin puts the Raiders up now, 8-6. 8-6, 3:02 left first quarter here from Convent Avenue. Hart brings it up for the Mounties. He goes to Boudreau from outside. And Danny's ball bounces up and out and over, and it'll be a Raiders ball inbounded. First ball game, Boudreau was hot from the three-point spot there. He had 15 points, and they were all three-pointers in the first meeting here with the Raiders. Caligiuri at the top of the, or at the foul line, and it's rebounded by Nickel gets it to Baker. Baker to Dumas, and it's good. Kevin Dumas for the Raiders, 10-6. Rutland on top with 2:30 left, first quarter. Back the other way now. Boudreau for the Mounties. And he tried to bounce it to Hart. It's picked up by Baker. Baker leaves it for Kelligiri, and it doesn't. Well, I tell you, it's like a volleyball game down there at times. We go to Baker now for the Raiders. Looking for some help. Kelligiri, he was hot from outside in that first meeting. That one doesn't go, and it's rebounded by McCann. Tom McCann gets it ahead to Dan Boudreau now for the Mounties. 2:02 left, first quarter. All right, McCann's going to set it up, and in and out.
Looks Baker, like that one was going, Mark.
Boy, it did. Got a lid on it down there. Baker brings it back for the Raiders. 1:47 left here, first quarter from Convent Avenue Gym. MSJ and Rutland, junior varsity action. Nickel, and knocked out of bounds. Rutland ball. So the Raiders will inbound it. Checking in for Rutland, number 14, that's Matt Waterman, and Kevin Dumas will get a breather here with 1:37 left in the first quarter. And Shortle couldn't find the handle. It goes out of bounds. It'll be a Mountie ball. All right, they'll get it in bounds. This is Brian Hart bringing it up for MSJ. You've got Hart, Polgar, Boudreau, Ryder's in there, and also McCann for the Mounties. Gets it to Hart. The Raiders seem to be picking the Mounties up a little further out in this ball game. Rebounded by Polgar. And we got a foul before the shot. They're going to have, let's see. Matt Waterman picks up the personal for the Raiders. So the Mounties will inbound with 1:16 left. First quarter, 10-6. Raiders on top here. Back to Hart. Over to Boudreau now. Boudreau spreads it out. Want to go inside to McCann, and we got a whistle. Waterman picking up a quick 2 fouls here with 1:03 left in the first quarter. The Mounties will inbound. 10-6, the Raiders on top. Raiders with 4 team fouls, and the Mounties with 2. And that one's picked off by Baker. Jesse brings it in, and he puts it left a little short. Tom Nickel with the rebound, and it's controlled by the Mounties. This is Polgar. Gets it back to McCann. Nice one-handed layup, didn't go. Got the rebound, third time. Well, I tell you, the Mounties can't buy one here in the first quarter. 10-6 Raiders, 35 seconds left. Back the other way. Kelligiri's fouled.
He'll be going to the line. Josh Polgar picks it up.
Okay, Josh Polgar, and that's first personal.
I got to go over here and zoom in on my assistant coach here, Mark. Jerry Munger.
Well, don't be gone too long now.
Got to get him on TV. He loves it when he's on TV.
All right, so Joe Kelligiri at the line for the Raiders. 10-6. Rutland on top. Make it 11-6. 32 seconds left in the first quarter of play here.
Takes them both.
All right, Joe gets them both. And the Mounties come back. 12-6 Raiders up. Polgar corrals the pass.
Corral? I like that.
You like that? Polgar and Baker going at it, and it's knocked away. Controlled by the Raiders. Jesse Baker, and they'll be holding for 1 shot. We're down to 10 seconds left in the first quarter. 12-6 Raiders. Kelligiri puts it up, and he left it short. The rebound controlled by the Mounties. Polgar. Not a lot of time left. Ryder, and he decides not to take the shot. So after 1 quarter play, it's the Raiders 12 and the Mounties 6.
There they are. They're the crew. They're waving now.
2, 4, 6. Back at the Common Avenue Gym here, the Mounties and the Raiders junior varsity action, and another ball game for the Mounties. I don't have a number for him. Son of a gun. I wonder if that's Slater, number 11, because he wore 15 in that first matchup. foul underneath, and Josh Polgar will be going to the line.
Who we don't have a number for? Number 11?
Number 11.
No name? Of course we've got a number.
That's. I wonder if that's Tim Slater. Well, I got a number. I don't have a name. Let's. We'll have to ask Woody. Josh Polgar at the free throw line. And, well, I'm telling you. Polgar for the... Okay, Tim Camden. Thanks, Jack.
Yep.
Jack Healey with that information, so we're all set. And 12-6, Raiders on top, 7:44. Second quarter action, Joe Caligiuri. But I tell you, both teams had the hot hand here in that first matchup, and it's it can't be the weather because it's been mild all day. So there's one from outside. Hart, three-pointer.
I think Tim Cannon, didn't he play in the varsity game last time against us?
Yeah, I think he did. So Cannon's in there, number 11.
I'm pretty sure because you get a ball bounced off his face. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that too. 12-9, knocked away, picked up by Baker. No, that was, whoa, boy. Well, that's a tough call. All right, so the Mounties will inbound it with 7:13 here left in the second quarter. 12-9, the Raiders on top. Something tells me this thing will heat up here momentarily. Hart goes inside the Polgar. Good defense by the Raiders, knocked away by Dumas, picked up by Baker. Leaves it back for Caligiuri off the glass, and Dumas with the putback. Wow, a lot of traffic underneath. Finally, Dumas.
He's going to do it till he gets it right.
Well, I'll tell you, Kevin Dumas finally. A lot of activity underneath the boards down there. Basket was good.
This Raider team seems to be fired up now, huh?
Well, that picked him up somewhat. Dumas gets the basket. And 14-9, the Raiders on top, and Dumas with a chance to make it a three-point play here. 6:50 left in the second quarter, and Kevin completes the three-point play. All right, back the other way. The Mounties, Hart bringing it up. It looked like a horse race with Hart and Caligiuri downtown. Camden, three-pointer for Tim Camden.
What's this, horse race, corral?
Yeah.
What's going on tonight, Barry?
I don't know. Thinking about a rodeo, I guess. All right, so this is Caligiuri back the other way, and Irish is in there. Jason Irish for the Raiders. Caligiuri almost got caught traveling, but got rid of the ball. We got a, what do you call the foul? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's got Matt Waterman's number,
That's
I believe.
3.
That's 3 on Waterman. Sometimes the officials, they like the certain numbers, and they just, no, I'm just kidding. So Waterman picks up his third. It's 15-12. Back the other way, Polgar gets it to Camden. They go across court to Boudreau, and he's,
and an out.
He almost lit it up. Bounced around. Camden with the rebound off the glass, and it's controlled by Dumas.
Let it go.
As he hits the floor, he gets it away.
Another bad
call. Now let's see now. It'll be a Mountie ball.
Yeah.
Polgar is going to inbound with 6:03 left in the second quarter, and it's 15-12 Raiders.
That was tipped out by a Mountie, folks. Rewind your tape.
Polgar over to Hart. It's Polgar, Hart, Ryder, Boudreau, and Camden, and we got a whistle.
We'll follow the little guy here.
Okay, that's going to be Sean Irish. And Tom Nickel checks back in for the Raiders, and he'll replace Caligiuri. Weatherby replaces Ryder for the Mounties with 5:52 left in the second quarter here, and stepping to the free throw line will be Tim Camden. Camden with a chance to draw the Mounties closer here. And that one doesn't fall. Rebound control by Dumas of the Raiders. Gets it ahead to Shortle. Matt Shortle in there now. We got Dumas, Shortle, Baker, Irish, and Tom Nickel in for the Raiders. Irish goes inside to Dumas. They go down low to Nickel, who jumps it back out to Baker. Baker with the shot, and it goes. Jesse Baker with the bucket. Find his name on the sheet here. There we go. 17-12. The Raiders up by 5 here with 5:21 left in the second quarter of play here from Convent Avenue Gym. MSJ and Rutland, junior varsity action on 15. And there's a nice shot by Brian Hart for the Mounties. 17-14 now. Raiders on top, back the other way. Baker wanted to go to Shorto. We got a fall. Matt Shorto picks up the personal.
Yeah, trying to karate chop him.
I guess that would, yeah, that's what you'd call it.
Yeah.
So Sean Irish back in for the Raiders. Stepping to the charity stripe will be Brian Hart for the Mounties. Number 13.
He was too close to have the rope to try to lasso him, so I figured.
Okay, I know where we're going that one. Off the back of the iron, and it's controlled by Dumas of the Raiders, who get to the head to Baker. Baker, Dumas, Kelligiri, Irish, and Nickel in for the Raiders. There's Irish now looking for some help. Gets it to Dumas. Dumas, he's going to take it himself, and it's good. Kevin Dumas stepped it up.
They were looking for the pass, and Kevin took a couple steps in. And
sometimes you can do that, and it pays off, Brian. Yep. And in that case, it did. 19-14. The Raiders on top. Down low, Boudreaux. And it's controlled by Nickel. Ahead to Baker, who goes ahead to Irish. Sean Irish now back to Nickel. Tom Nickel. And he gets it back to Jesse Baker. Baker flips it to Kelligiri. Long, wow.
That almost
nothing but net on that one. Boy, that had some hang time on it.
Yeah. Timeout.
And with the timeout, 22-14, the Raiders on top of the Mounties. Back at the Common Avenue Gym, 22-14, the Raiders on top of the Mounties here. Junior Varney, yeah, Junior Varney, there you go. Jim Varney, junior varsity action here from MSJ. And Brian Hart with the drive. And Jesse Baker says, who, me?
Yes, Jesse.
Jesse's going to pick up the personal with 4:01. The Mounties, I can't figure, is that a B or is that 9? Or for the Raiders, I mean. 9 team fouls?
9. What would a B be doing up there?
Bonus, right?
Oh.
And at the free throw line is Brian Hart.
Bonus is way up top, Mike. For the
there
arrows.
You go, bonus.
See? Arrows. Yep. Indians, get it?
I got you.
Okay.
Not used to the scoreboard down here. It's a little different when I was going to school down here, okay? Give me a break. All right. Cannon, and he put that off the glass, got his own rebound. It's in the lane here. We got a fall.
Yeah, but back then, Mark, didn't you just use a chalkboard?
No, not that far back. Oh, boy. All right, so...
that's Tim?
Did he call the Irish? I think Sean Irish picked up the personal.
Yes,
so
he
going
did.
back to the fall line here at the charity stripe is Tim Camden.
That's 2 on Sean.
Okay, Camden. And he wanted that one back.
Should have had one of them rubber bands like the Globetrotters use, you know?
Yeah, you could bring
it. Go in, pull back. There you go. We're having a good time here tonight, folks.
Definitely. And that one doesn't go. So Camden misses them both, and the Raiders rebound. 22-14, Rutland on top with 3:50 left in the second quarter. This one here, not as fast-paced as that earlier game up at Keefe. Knocked away. Good defensive play there by Ian McCormick of the Mounties. McCormick, who just checked in. We got McCormick, Weatherby, Camden, Polgar, and Hart in there for the Mounties. The Raiders going with Irish, Nickel, Dumas, Baker, and Kelligiri. Baker underneath. He draws a crowd.
Josh Polgar get called for the push.
Polgar gets called. So that's Josh's, I believe that's his second. Yep.
Only 5 team fouls.
Okay, 5 for the Mounties, 10 for the Raiders. Outside they go to Baker now. Baker. And he gets it to Sean Irish.
Whoa.
Goes in the lane. It's picked up there by Camden. And Tim gets it to Josh Polgar, and he's fouled going in. Oh, wait a minute.
Yep.
Okay.
That was before the shot.
All right, before the shot. Who did get on that one?
Kelligiri.
Joe Kelligiri with the personal. That's Joe's first. I got a feeling this team is going to be a foul-filled contest here for some reason. Josh Polgar, and they're keeping Polgar under wraps because he's yet to light it up here. Josh having a tough time at it here in the first half. 22-14. And the Raiders on top here with 3:21 left. Boy, controlled there by the Raiders. Dumas has been a terror on the boards for Rutland. Baker brings it up now. They go to Lavancier. John Paul Lavancier in there for the Raiders. Across court to Baker, who sets it up. And a rebound, Dumas. Turnaround. And let's see, whistle. We may have Tom Nickel here for over the back. No?
Yeah. Yep.
32, okay.
Tom.
So Tom Nickel picks up his, that's his first. And back we go the other way now, and this is Jeff Weatherby.
Well, we said it right or not. Rutland has 10. Well, I think they got 11 fouls now. MSJ with 5.
All right, Weatherby sinks the first. I wonder if it's a lighting. Maybe it's a lighting down here, you know.
Yeah, it could be.
Slower pace game. A little more melancholy atmosphere, I guess. I don't know. Baker and Kelligeri with that. Yeah, I'll tell you. That one didn't reach it, but he gets some air on it when he sends it up there. He gets some height. McCormick, he's got an open shot. He takes it. It's controlled by Dumas. And Kevin's going to looking for help. Finally, Lavancier comes to the rescue. He gets it to Nickel. They go back to Baker outside. Baker over to Kelligeri. And the shot by Joe Kelligeri is no good. Lavancier is there. Lavancier doesn't go. And the rebound controlled by Baker of the Raiders. Jesse drives a base, and the basket should count. Let's see. He got fouled on the play. Falls on Jeff Weatherby of the Mounties. That's Weatherby's third. And going to the charity stripe will be Jesse Baker. So did they count the basket, Brian? They did, yeah. All right.
Substitutions for Rutland.
All right, let's see. Matt...
Sean Irish.
Okay, Waterman's in there for the Raiders. And Baker completes the three-point play for the Raiders. 25-15, Rutland on top with 2:14 left in the second quarter of play here from the Convent Avenue Gym. Hart, nice jumper off the glass by Brian Hart. And it's 25-17 now. Back come the Raiders. Baker over to Waterman, down low to Nickel. Nickel back to Waterman. Waterman. And doesn't go. Rebound and control. It's going to be a Mounties ball. Okay, I'll tell you, Brian, they're pulling some fast ones. They got number 12 in there, and I don't have a name. And I don't have a number either.
Whoops.
So we'll have to try to find out who number 12 is for the Mounties. 55, that's Ryder. He's back into it. Hart's got the ball. Gets it to Camden. Turnaround doesn't go, and it's left short. So the Raiders will control. 25-17, Rutland on top. 1:35 left in the second quarter of action here from the Convent Avenue Gym. Mark Carboneau along with Brian Mayhew this evening on Channel 15. Waterman down to Nickel. Nickel to Dumas off the back of the iron. Waterman puts it through. Matt Waterman with the bucket, 27-17, and the Raiders open up a 10-point lead now with 1:09 left in the second quarter. Hart gets it to Camden, and we're going to get Kevin Dumas. So Dumas picks up his second. No, that's his. No, they got him for 3 down here. That's his third. And stepping to the free throw line is Tim Camden for the Mounties. Dumas takes a seat for the Raiders. And Camden's second shot is good. So Tim Camden gets 1 out of 2. 1:05 left. Second quarter, 27-18. The Raiders on top. Baker back for the Raiders to Irish. Nickel, and it's picked up by Polgar of the Raiders, or Polgar of the Mounties. Polgar now Over to Brian Hart. Hart's and a basket. Basket should count. He's fouled on the play. 1-4. That's Matt Waterman.
That's about 4 on him, isn't it?
That's Matt's 4th personal. And the basket was good, and Brian Hart with a chance for a 3-point play here. Second quarter action, 27-20. The Raiders on top. Waterman's going to check out. Checking in for the Raiders, number 12, Aaron Dardick. And Hart shot goes off the back of the iron. Let's see, it's going to stay right down there. It'll be a Mountie ball. 45 seconds left, second quarter. 27-20, the Raiders on top of the Mounties, and the Mounties will inbound it. This one, and we don't have a number or a name in there for that particular person. Polgar, and Polgar puts it off the glass and in. Josh Polgar with the bucket.
Brings it to within 5 now. 30 seconds left.
Irish to Kelligiri to Nickel, and they're going to get Tom for steps down low.
.26 seconds left to go for halftime.
All right, this is Hart bringing it up for the Mounties. Hart and Polgar in the backcourt for MSJ. Goes to Polgar now. Polgar. We'll find out who number 12 is here for MSJ. Let's see. Back to Hart. They're going to hold here 11 seconds, and they're going to get him for a 5-second call. 27-22, 10 seconds left. And the second quarter of play here from the Convent Avenue Gym. The Raiders on top.
10 seconds.
10 seconds? Did I say 10 seconds?
Number 12. 1-on-1.
Okay, number 12. I don't have a name, but I got to...
Hold on here. See if I can...
Who's number 12? Daly?
Daly, okay. Number 12, Daly with the personal for the Mounties.
I don't know where the camera went, Mark. But
okay, that's all right. Dardick at the free throw line, and they called him for... Somebody went over the line.
He did, I believe.
I guess he did, yeah.
Stepped over.
So no basket. And the Mounties will roll it down here with 5 seconds. Clock hasn't started yet. Now it has. Camden picks it up, and he's going to let it fly. And it doesn't go, but underneath. And we got a fall here right at about 7/10 of a second left. Well, I'll tell you. You called a foul on, who's the personal on?
Number 12.
Number 12 got it?
Dardick.
Was that on Daly, or I mean Dardick?
Yep.
Okay, we'll give it to Aaron Dardick. At the line for the Mounties, John Ryder, with a chance to shorten that lead by the Raiders. Okay, Ryder sinks the first one. Just when you thought the second quarter was going to come to an end, we had a fall here. About 7/10 of a second left. Ryder's going to get them both. So John Ryder sinks them both. It's 27-24 and a shot at the buzzer. John Paul Lavancier from outside. Second half action just underway. And we got a little bit of a buzz there in the background, but we'll try to do the best we can. 27-24. Back the other way, Brian Hart hits it for the Mounties. And 27-26 now. The Raiders up on top here with 7:30 left in the third quarter of action.
Jack Healey just plugged in his equipment. And,
sure, see what happened? That's Kevin Dumas, goes to Kelligiri. Kelligiri now with a jumper, and Joe Kelligiri nails it.
He didn't miss much, folks. Just the inbounding of the ball here.
That was it. 29-26, and the Raiders on top now. McKeon goes to Ryder. Brian Hart, and didn't get the bounce. Rebound Boudreau, and Dan Boudreau puts it in. So Boudreau's on the board here in the third quarter. 29-28, Raiders on top of the Mounties with 6:50 left here, third quarter. John Paul Lavancier gets it to Dumas. Kevin Dumas now back to Lavancier. Goes to Kelligiri. They go inside the nickel, back to Dumas. Pretty play, and Dumas with the bucket.
31-28, Rutland.
This thing's heating up now, Brian. It was like a sleepwalk to that first half, and both teams, I think, have actually stepped it up a bit here in the second half. McCann, and let's see.
Dumas.
We got Kevin Dumas for the personal. That's Kevin's fourth, I believe. Checking in for the Raiders, 22, Matt Schroedel, and number 13, Brian Hackett. Levancier and Dumas come out, and Kevin Dumas picks up his fourth personal. 31-28, stepping to the free throw line for the Mounties is Tom McCann.
Tom hits the first one.
All right, 31-29. And McCann's second one goes off the back of the rim, controlled by Kelligeri of the Raiders. 6:18 left in the third quarter here from the Common Avenue Gym. MSJ Rutland Junior Varsity action. Kelligeri lets it fly. Rebound, McCann, lost the handle, gets it back. And he's bumped into, inadvertently there by Jesse Baker. So Baker will pick up the personal.
I wonder if Jack would mind if I unplugged his stuff when he's not looking.
That might help. Well, I don't know. I don't think it'd go over too good. 31-29, the Raiders. Now we're not getting it.
Yeah, I'll stand out here so you can't see.
There you go. Hart missed the shot. 31-29, the Raiders. And Baker comes back. Depends on where you're standing, Brian. Now we're picking up the buzz again here. Kelligeri now. And a little bit of a bump. And that's a little bit of incidental contact, but they're going to call it against Brian Hart.
Can you see?
Yeah, I can see. No problem.
Right
Raiders
spot.
ball, 31-29. Rutland on top with 5:47 left here in the third quarter. Baker goes to Levancier, Matt Schroedel, and Schroedel puts it in for the Raiders. 33-29, 5:34 left here. Third quarter action from the Common Avenue Gym. Back come the Mounties. Boudreaux and Danny Schott goes short. Polgar rebounds. Polgar puts it up and he's fouled on the play. 22, and that's going to be on Matt Schroedel for the Raiders, and that'll be Matt's second. Raiders with 3 team fouls, and the Mounties with 1. Going to the charity stripe will be Josh Polgar, number 20 for the Mounties. Okay, Josh will get another one here. 33-29. And Polgar gets 1 of 2. And with 5:24 left, the Raiders 33 and the Mounties 30. Baker comes back the other way over to Schroedel. Schroedel's pass was knocked away there by Boudreaux. And let's see, it'll be controlled by the Raiders. So Kelligeri will inbound for Rutland.
What are you doing, Mark? Don't move.
Oh, okay, with Nickel along the baseline. Goes to Schroedel in the lane. And we got a whistle. Joe, let's see who this one's on. 1-3. And that's going to be on Brian Hackett, I believe. So Hackett picks up the personal. 33-30, 5:10 left, third quarter, and back come the Mounties now. Brian Hart. Out at the point for MSJ, gets it to Boudreaux. Boudreaux over to McCann. Tom McCann gets by the traffic, puts it up, doesn't go, and he's fouled on the play.
Okay, Hackett again. Yep.
Hatchet or Hackett?
Hackett.
Okay, Hackett. I know, I'm just... So Brian picks up his second one. Brian Hackett for the Raiders gets a second personal, and stepping to the free throw line will be Tom McCann for the Mounties, number 25. And McCann sinks the first one. 33-31, Rutland on top MSJ. Let's see, 4:56 left. Second one for McCann, and doesn't go. Rebounded, knocked around. Let's see. It'll be a Mountie ball underneath. So with 4:56 left, the Mounties will inbound it. Brian Hart. And he steps it out to McCann, driving through, off the glass. Rebound, Nickel with the big one. And he goes to Baker, ahead to Schroedel. Schroedel lets it fly. And rebounded by McCann. McCann is going to let it sail down to Polgar, knocked away by the Raiders, controlled by Hackett. Gets it to Shortle, back to Nickel. Kelligeri knocked away by Brian Hart, coming the other way. 1 against 2, and he stops. And they're going to get Brian Hart for steps. 4:32 left, third quarter, 33-31. And the Raiders on top of the Mounties here. All right, the Raiders bringing it up. It's Baker and Hackett out there in the fourth. All right, now they go to Irish. Gets into traffic, knocked away, blocked by Tom McCann of the Mounties. 33-31. The Raiders coming into this one at 8-5, and the Mounties with an impressive record at 12-4 this year. The Mounties and the Raiders. This is Baker. Baker along the baseline, knocked away by Ryder, goes off John Ryder's leg, and will be controlled by Rutland. Underneath the basket here, Kelligeri gets it to Nickel, back to Kelligeri with the turnaround, off the glass, in and out, rebounded by McCann. McCann now. Back the other way. This is Brian Hart. Hart. And we got a whistle, foul out in front.
Tom Nichols.
Tom Nickel.
It's the second.
Okay, Tom's second. And the Mounties will inbound it.
Sounds like a 747 coming in for a landing.
Yeah, really. As long as it doesn't land here, we're all right. Turnaround by Ryder doesn't go. Controlled there by the Raiders. Kelligeri back to Hackett. He slows it down. Lost the handle. They're going to get him for traveling. And the ball goes back to the Mounties. So you got Boudreau, Hart, McCann, Polgar, and Ryder in there for the Mounties. Brian Hart now. Goes to Tom McCann. McCann wanted to take it outside. Goes back to Hart from outside, and Brian Hart sinks it. Is that a 2 or a 3? I guess it's a 2.
Ties the game up.
All right.
That's a 2.
Waiting for the signal. Just inside the three-point line. 33-33 with 3:28 left in the third quarter. Nickel flies it across to Baker, who drives it in, and they're going to get Tom McCann for the foul, I believe. Tom McCann with a personal, that's his first, and going to the charity stripe will be Jesse Baker of the Raiders. Number 15 in there for Rutland is Jared Arbor. Just checked in for Brian Hackett. And Baker, first points of the third quarter here for Jesse Baker, 34-33. Baker sinks them both. 35-33, 3:21 left in the third quarter of play here from the Common Avenue Gym. MSJ Rutland Junior Varsity action here on Channel 15. This is Hart looking for help, looking, and he gets it to McCann. Tom drops it back to Dan Boudreau from outside. And not quite the hot hand that Boudreau had in that first game up at Keefe. Back the other way, Baker dishes it for Arbor. He wanted to go back outside. Irish runs it down, and they're going to get him on the line. So the ball will go back to the Mounties with 2:52 left. Third quarter, MSJ will put it in play here. Brian Hart. Gets it inside to McCann. McCann with the turnaround. It's good. A little hook there. Tom McCann. 35-35, 2:35 left in the third quarter. Back come the Raiders now. Irish goes to Kelligeri from downtown, doesn't go. Rebound and control by the Raiders. Baker behind the back, working against Polgar. Goes to Kelligeri, the jumper, and it goes. Joe Kelligeri with the basket. 37-35, puts the Raiders back on top here. Kelligeri, 21 points in that first matchup against the Mounties earlier in the season. All right, the Mounties, McCann, and he puts it up. It doesn't go, but he's fouled on the play.
Tom Nichols, I believe.
Well, if that's against Tom, that's...
No.
Yeah. No?
No, that's Joe Kelligeri.
Okay,
21.
21, yeah, that's 2. Joe Kelligeri now. And going to the free throw line will be Tom McCann for MSJ here. 37-35. McCann sinks the first one. Makes it 37-36. And McCann doesn't. He gets 1 of 2. Controlled by Nickel. Gets it ahead to Baker. Baker now brings it up for the Raiders. 37-36 with 1:58 left in the third quarter of play here from MSJ. And they got Josh Polgar on the personal. So Josh picks up his third personal of the ball game. 37-36 now, and the Raiders will inbound it. Irish goes to Baker. And Irish outside. He gets it. Three-pointer for Sean Irish. I gave that to the... Okay, here we go. Back come the Mounties now. 40-36. Rutland on top. 1:37. Polgar off the glass and in. Josh Polgar with the bucket. 40-38 now. Rutland on top with 1:27 seconds left. Third quarter. Kelly Jury outside. Let's see. Just inside the three-point line. So that was a two-pointer for Kelly Jury, and it makes it 42-38. Back come the Mounties now. Brian Hart in the lane. And he doesn't get the roll. It's controlled by Weatherby. Knocked away. The ball goes back up. Brian Hart got it in the lane. 42-40 with 1 minute left in the third quarter. Back come the Raiders now. Baker over to Irish. 3 seconds. 3 seconds called on the Raiders, and it'll put the ball back in the Mounties' hands with 52 seconds left in the third quarter. 42-40. The Raiders on top here. Back come the Mounties now. Brian Hart brings it up for MSJ. You've got Hart, Boudreau, Weatherby's in there, McCann, and also Ian McCormick. This is Hart, goes inside. McCann throws it up and in. I don't know how you describe that one, Brian, but whatever it is,
Pretty.
it worked. It was. 42-42 in the lane to go to Nickel. The Raiders now back with the ball. Baker from outside, he drains it. Jesse Baker with the three-pointer. 20 seconds left, third quarter, 45-42. And back come the Mounties now with 13 seconds left. This is Hart looking at the clock, seeing how much time he's got. Drives it in, lays it up. We got a foul.
That's Caligiuri.
Okay, Joe Caligiuri picking up the personal. That's his third. 45-42. And the Mounties with 3 team fouls. The Raiders with 8. Brian Hart. Brian gets another one here. 7 seconds left. Third quarter of action from the Common Avenue Gym this evening. And Hart missed them both. McCormick with the rebound, puts it up. Got it! And Ian McCormick. And that'll do it at the end of 3 quarters of play. It's the Raiders 45 and the Mounties 44. All right, back at the Common Avenue Gym, fourth quarter action. MSJ Rutland, 45-44. The Raiders on top. They go inside. The shot goes up off the glass. They got Tim Camden for traveling.
There you go. Thank Jack Healey. He just shut his equipment off.
All right, no more buzz. Thanks, Jack. 45-44. The Raiders on top with 7:44 left. Fourth quarter action. They go to Irish to Caligiuri. And he wanted to go in the lane. It's knocked away, picked up by Weatherby. Weatherby, Camden. And Brian Hart in there for the Mounties. Danny Boudreau and also Ian McCormick. We'll set their Raider line up here momentarily. Hart gets it to McCormick. He hit it from that side again. He drives baseline. Doesn't go. We got a fall underneath.
50.
Okay. Jeff Weatherby picking up the personal. And that's his fourth. So with 7:20 left in the fourth quarter, the ball will go back to the Raiders with Baker bringing it up, going to Irish now. Irish knocked away by Camden. Camden working against Baker. Goes in one-handed, puts it up, doesn't go. McCormick's there for the follow. McCormick back up again, and we got a foul on Camden. And that's going to be Tim's first. Tim Camden picks up the personal for the Mounties. 7:02 left, 45-44. And the Raiders on top here. Junior varsity action from the Convent Avenue Gym this evening. Mark Carboneau along with Brian Mayhew on Channel 15. And Irish is going to drive, and there's a foul on the play.
14.
Yeah, Dan Boudreau will pick up the personal. I believe that's Danny's first.
Yeah, he just pushed Sean out of bounds. That's all he did.
That's all. Danny, like I mentioned before here, has been they've shut him down tonight. He had 15 points in that first encounter, and they were all threes. And Brian Hart fouled out in that first game against the Raiders. Thus far, he's still in there. Nickel bounced it off Boudreau, and it's going to be a Raider ball. So the Raiders will inbound it here with 6:38 left, 45-44. Caligiuri with the turnaround off the glass, in and out, rebound, scramble for it. Caligiuri gets the ball. They go back to Baker, loses it, and it's knocked away, controlled by Hart. Now Baker falls on it, gets the ball back to Irish, and the fans wanted a traveling call. They didn't get it. Baker now back for the Raiders. 6:19 left in the fourth quarter. They go inside to Nickel, across to Caligiuri. And he got the bounce, hits the top, and it's going to come down, but it's going to be a Mountie ball here with 6:13 left in the fourth quarter. The Mounties will bring it up now. And let's see what we got. And we got a technical foul called against the Mountie bench. So with the technical foul on the Mountie bench, this will send the Raiders to the charity stripe here with 6:08 left. Fourth quarter action from MSJ's Convent Avenue Gym here. It's 45-44. The Raiders on top, and Joe Caligiuri will step to the free throw line for the Raiders, and he sinks the first one.
I don't know if you caught what happened on the bench. I didn't see it either, Mark.
No, I didn't. He just, did you get the second one?
No.
Okay. So Caligiuri makes one of two. 46-44, the Raiders on top, and it'll be a Raider basketball also. Baker and Irish in the backcourt here for the Raiders. Back to Baker. Raiders sliding through the lane there. Looking inside, Baker goes to Caligiuri. Caligiuri to the lane. Dardick is in there, and Dardick loses the handle. The Mounties will take over now with 5:45 left in the fourth quarter. The Mounties with 17 fouls and the Raiders with 8. Back come the Mounties now. It goes to Camden from outside, and a little too much bounce on it. Controlled by Baker, the Raiders. 5:29 left, fourth quarter now.
Baker was way ahead of the pack.
Ooh, knocked away, and let's see. First and 10 Raiders here.
Let's get caught up here. Baker was way ahead of the pack. He had to hold it up for the rest of the team. Then it was stolen away.
Timeout, and we'll take a break. The Raiders 46, the Mounties 44. All right, back at the Convent Avenue Gym here. It's MSJ and Rutland, 46-44 with 5:20 left in the fourth quarter. This is Irish. He goes to Baker. They go inside, knocked away and stolen away there by Tim Camden. Camden brings it up for the Mounties, ahead to Brian Hart. Hart goes to Polgar. Polgar now steps it out. 5:02 left. Fourth quarter action here from the Convent Avenue Gym. Mounties and the Raiders, 46-44 Rutland. To Camden, back to Hart. Hart's going to let it fly, and that one comes up short. Rebounded by Irish for the Raiders. Gets it ahead to Baker now. Baker brings it up. 4:42 left. Fourth quarter. Irish goes to Nickel. Tom Nickel. And draws the crowd. Knocked away, and that one's going to be a Mountie ball. So MSJ will put it in play here with 4:34 left, fourth quarter. The Raiders up 46-44. And Camden gets it into Hart. Brian Hart goes back to Camden now. Camden looking inside. Gets it to Weatherby. Weatherby's got Boudreau underneath. And Danny puts it up. Doesn't go. It's knocked around down there, and it's going to stay right down there. MSJ ball out of bounds. So the Mounties will inbound it with 4:19 left, and that one goes. Boudreau. Dan Boudreau with the three-pointer. 47-46 MSJ now with 4:10 left. Back to Irish now for the Raiders, and the Kelligiri with the jumper.
It's MSJ's first lead of the game.
Nickel, and he puts it back. Tom Nickel with the bucket, 48-47. That was the MSJ first, that lead, the first of the ball game.
Getting ready to put Kevin Dumas back in.
That was short-lived, Brian.
Yeah.
This is Brian Hart now for the Mounties. Hart working against Kelligiri to go back to Camden. And I think they're going to get Joe Kelligiri here for the personal. So Kelligiri picks up the personal. Kevin Dumas will check back in for the Raiders, and Sean Irish will take a seat.
Yes, 4 fouls on Joe.
That's, Kelligiri's 4th foul. Stepping to the charity stripe for the Mounties will be Tim Camden. And Camden got another one coming.
Steps back, regroup, back to the line.
It wouldn't fall for him. 48-47. The Raiders on top with 3:38 left here in the 4th quarter. Notice I'm staying away from left in the contest, okay? I've learned my lesson. We've played too many overtime games this year. Kelligiri now controls for the Raiders. And they're going to spread it out here a little bit. The Raiders, Baker into the lane. Knocked away there by Weatherby. Controlled by Cannon. Cannon goes to Hart, and Hart brings it up for MSJ. 3:14 left. Boudreau's dangerous now. If he heats up, he drives it in, 2 points, and it's good. Danny Boudreau. And the Mounties go back on top, 49-48 with 3:02 left. 4th quarter action here. Back to, that's Waterman now in for the Raiders. To Nickel, cross court, Baker. They go to Kelligiri with the jumper, and Dumas working hard underneath. I think we got a call. Let's see, this one's going to go against the Mountie.
Weatherby.
And Jeff Weatherby. I think that's 5 on Jeff. Let's see. Yeah, they got him for 5, Brian.
Yeah.
So Weatherby's going to exit stage right here. And let's see, 2:47 left in the contest. 49-48, the Mounties on top. And Kevin Dumas going to the charity stripe for the Raiders. And Coach Woods now have to get a replacement player. The Mounties with 18 fouls, the Raiders with 9 at this point. And it looks like John Ryder is going to go back in for the Mounties. So Ryder replaces Weatherby. And
with the lead.
The Mounties with the lead, 49-48, 2:47 left in the 4th quarter. And stepping to the charity stripe is going to be Kevin Dumas of the Raiders. He's got a 1-on-1. Did you say a 1? Yeah. Dumas sinks the front end here.
A good time for a TV timeout right now, Mark.
Right now?
Yeah, my arm's killing me.
Oh, well. Well, switch arms.
Yeah.
And Dumas with the second one. Kevin Dumas sinks them both. And we get a... Okay, Joe Kelligiri is checking in for the Raiders. Let's see, we got Shortle, Baker, Dumas. Let's see, Tom Nickel and Matt Waterman. For the Mounties, you got Hart, Polgar, Camden's in there, Ryder's in there, and also Dan Boudreau. And if Boudreau gets hot from the three-point line, anything is possible. Goes inside to Cannon, want to step it outside, got it back, and he drives it up and in. Tim Cannon for the Mounties, and it's MSJ 51, the Raiders 50 with 2:26 left in the contest. Baker goes inside to Nickel. Oh, I thought he was going to take it, Brian. They go to Dumas, who's been hot all game, and he doesn't go. Polgar pulls it down for the Mounties ahead to Brian Hart. 51-50 with 2:11 left in the 4th quarter here. Junior varsity action tonight on Channel 15 from the Convent Avenue Gym. Hart goes to Camden. Camden Going to go back to Hart. They're going to buy some time here with 1:57 left. Back out to Boudreaux. They're not in any hurry. Boudreaux now spreading it out a little bit. They go to Polgar. Polgar steps it out to Boudreaux. Back to Hart. Down to Camden. Back out to Brian Hart now. Hart's going to drive. He steps it out to Polgar. Polgar back to Hart. And a whistle before the shot.
It's a 1-1.
That on Matt. Well, let's see. Yeah, Matt Shorto picking up the personal.
It's his third.
So that's Matt's third personal of the ball game. And going to the charity stripe for the Mounties will be Brian Hart, number 13, 51-50. The Mounties on top here, 1:34 left in the fourth quarter. And Hart got another one coming here. All right, so Hart sinks one of two, and it's 52-50 with 1:33 left here in the fourth quarter. Baker brings it up for the Raiders. He's got Kelligeri. They go to Dumas down low. The turnaround, and he's got it. Got a nice patented shot there, Brian.
He sure does.
52-52, and Coach Woods wants a timeout. So that's the scorer with 1:16 left in the fourth quarter.
We'll take a TV timeout.
Oh, yeah.
And we're back, Mark.
Okay, 1:16 left to go in the fourth quarter. 52-52, the Mounties and the Raiders here from the Convent Avenue Gym. The Mounties going with Polgar, Camden, Hart, Ryder, and Boudreaux. The Raiders going with Kelligeri, Baker, Dumas, Waterman, and Nickel. This is Hart now for the Mounties. 1:08 left, 52-52. Boudreaux back to Hart, over to Camden. Camden goes to Boudreaux now. I'm curious, Brian, whether they will hold for just one shot. And actually, that's not a bad idea.
It is.
It's a good idea because, especially against this Raider team, I think I would hold for the one shot. And
no
if
overtime, Mark. Come
if
on,
you
don't
miss
say
it,
that.
well, no, but if you miss it, the worst that can happen is they're going to go back, and play another.
4 minutes.
Was it 4 minutes? Yeah.
3, 4.
Shot in the laner, and the Raiders will control. Nickel goes ahead to Waterman. Yeah. It's less than 20 seconds now, 52-52. It's tough when you got to wait for that cameraman.
Yeah.
In the lane, Kelligeri with the basket, it's good. And Coach Woods calls timeout, 54-52. Kelligeri with the bucket, and the Mounties call timeout.
We'll take a timeout. I hope the Jack won't turn his equipment on again. This is it, Mark.
All right, here we go. We're back at the Convent Avenue Gym, and it's been an exciting junior varsity ball game. The second one of the season between the Mounties and the Raiders in that first matchup. The Raiders won 53-51. This one's going to go right down to the wire, 54-52. The Mounties with the ball and a chance to either tie it or win this thing. Camden now, 5.3 seconds. Camden still lets it fly, and it's off the rim. Polgar at the buzzer and doesn't go. The Raiders with a 54-52 win, and another well-played junior varsity matchup between the two local schools here, Brian. So from the Convent Avenue Gym here, the final score once again, the Raiders 54 and the Mounties 52.
Spectators are an important part of the game and are encouraged to perform with such standards of good sportsmanship and behavior. Spectators should respect officials, coaches, players, and cheerleaders that exist in their community and extend all courtesy to them. Under no circumstances will harassment or opponents or officials be tolerated. Avoiding disrespectful remarks and seriously be avoided. Please remain after the game for the presentation of the firefighter rotating trophy. Now for the starting lineup. First for the visiting Raiders. Starting guard, number 23, senior Chris Mayhew. At the other guard, number 12, junior Jake Conway. At forward, number 20.
Welch in the singing of our national anthem here at the MSJ Common Avenue Gym. I meant the other way. Put them on, John, so we didn't get feedback. That's what I was trying to tell you. We got a little feedback from the earphones here. It'll be Dick Long and Skip Platico are the referees for tonight's game between MSJ and Rutland. And not a bad crowd here at the Common Avenue Gym. So again, the Raiders going with Mayhew, Conway, Boynton, Eaton, and Bailey. Tomasi, Lane, Fuller, Keenan, and Rich McCann going for MSJ. Again, tonight's game to be taped for broadcast at a later date on Channel 15. Same for the JV game tonight as well. That'll be telecast at a later date on Channel 15. JV game going to the wire, and Rutland winning it 54-52. Aaron Boynton jumping center for the Raiders. Joe Lane for the Mounties. The Mounties going right to left as we look out. The Raiders going left to right as we look out here in the first half, and we're underway. Confrontation number 2. The Mounties control the tap, and the Mounties have it in the forecourt with Rich McCann. Picked up by Mayhew off the man-to-man to Tomasi, top of the circle, picked up by Eaton. Tomasi looking around, still looking, and we got the 5-second violation immediately against the Mounties, and great defense put up by the Raiders, and also Jake Eaton specifically, who had the man covered out front. Looks like the Mounties have started off here in the 2-3 zone with it. Left side, it is Jake Eaton with it. And he wanted to go to Boynton, off him, picked off by Tomasi. Now Fuller with it, left sideline in the forecourt, out to Rich McCann. McCann dribbles left to right, dribbles back to the middle, sends it out front now to Tomasi. Down low to Keenan, left side of the lane. His turnaround is in and out, no good, and the rebound controlled by Mayhew. Mayhew for the Raiders ahead to Eaton down the left sideline in the forecourt. Eaton lost the handle, picks it up again, left sideline near the hash mark, and gets it out to Mayhew, now to Bailey, right sideline to Jake Conway. Back on the bounce to Jake Eaton, top of the circle, and Eaton's traveling. So it will be MSJ's basketball, no score early going, 7-11 left here in the first quarter at the Common Avenue Gym. Fuller sends it ahead to Keenan, Keenan into the forecourt for MSJ, right sideline, sends it out to Rich McCann across the midcourt circle, sends it to the left sideline to Fuller, down the sideline, picked up by Conway, out to the left wing to Keenan, dribbles left to right across the key, back to McCann, McCann into the key, his 18-footer is an air ball, comes underneath to Tomasi, and he lays it up, no good, rebound, fought for, and it's finally saved by the Raiders as Bailey came down with it. I believe it was saved at the baseline by Eaton. With it now, Conway down low to the right baseline. Boynton gets double teamed, steal by Fuller. Fuller covers up and goes to Rich McCann. We're almost 2 minutes into this ball game and nobody has scored. McCann into the forecourt, picked up by Mayhew, and his pass stolen away by Conway. Drives all the way to the bucket, lays it up and in. And Conway puts the Raiders up 2-0. Some full court Raider pressure is with it in the backcourt is Rich McCann. McCann into the forecourt. McCann to the top of the circle, dribbles into the lane, running right-handers, no good. We get a foul against Rutland.
Aaron Bailey, I think, Jack.
It is son, Aaron Bailey. Bailey's first on the team. Raiders lead it 2-0. Before the shot, as into the ball game, John Lynn, Aaron Boynton is out for Rutland High. The foul before the shot, common foul. And McCann gets it in left wing to Keenan to the left side of the lane. A short jumper off the back of the rim, no good. Tomasi the rebound, back up from the right baseline. It's up and good, it's going to count. And he got fouled. Beat Tomasi an opportunity for a three-point play as that ties it at 2 apiece. The foul is on Jake Eaton of the Raiders, his first, second on the team.
This is the first time I've seen Jake Eaton play high school ball, Jack, but I can remember when he was the most valuable player of our Ed Gladzik tournament over there in West Rutland, and we knew then he was going to be a player.
Yeah, I got a little story about that. As Tomasi's shot is good to put the Mounties up 3-2, and we have an opportunity. We'll get back to that. Jake Eaton now a freshman at Rutland High. The Mounties have the 1-point lead. Raiders controlling the forecourt with Conway right sideline. The Mounties in the zone. Conway dribbles right to left, trying to feed it down low to Lynn, picked off by Fuller. Now McCann with it. McCann into the forecourt, down the middle to the key. McCann try to feed Tomasi, knocked away. Scramble for the basketball. Mayhew on the steal for Rutland High. Mayhew to the key to the line. Stops, spins around, goes right sideline to Conway. Conway back out to Mayhew on the left to John Lynn, left sideline to Jake Eaton. On the bounce out front to Conway, halfway between the circles, back to Mayhew. Here the right sideline. Mayhew back out to Eaton on the left to Conway, left sideline up for 3. No good. Rebound to McCann. Mounties lead it in the early going 3-2, 5:14 left. in the first quarter. Of course, Conway played in that tournament over in Westside, too. He's on the all-tournament team, right?
Yeah.
Is in the lane. Joe Lane. His turnaround is good. And MSJ goes up 5-2. The short jumper for Joe Lane. Into the forecourt, Mayhew for Rutland High. Mayhew right side of the circle. Feeds Conway near the right sideline out to Bailey. Bailey to Mayhew near the left sideline. Now Eaton with it. On the bounce, right wing. It goes back to Conway. Conway down low to Lynn. Beats his man and lays it in. Pretty play. It's MSJ 5 and Rutland 4. 4:38 left first quarter. Keenan the other way to the right side of the lane. His 12-footer bang. MSJ 7, Rutland 4. The other way, slowly into the forecourt against the 2-3 zone. Chris Mayhew sends it out to Bailey, left sideline. Jake Eaton with it now. Back on the bounce to Mayhew. Dribbles into the lane. His short jumper, good. And is it going to count? We're going to whistle and a foul. The basket is going to count. Chris Mayhew on the bucket at 7-6. MSJ by 1. As Dave Ballard checks in for Aaron Bailey for Rutland High. The foul was on Keenan, his first. Chris Mayhew, an opportunity for a three-point play, first on the team. And Mayhew's shot is good to complete the three-point play, and that ties it at 7 apiece. For a moment there, I thought the whistle was on a foul away from the basketball, but Chris Mayhew completing the three-point play for Rutland High. Tomasi with it, sends it on the bounce to Keenan, to the right baseline on the count. Wanted to go to lane, knocked away, back to Keenan to Fuller now. Fuller dribbles right to left, into the lane, on the bounce left wing to Tomasi. 12-footer, no good. We get a whistle and a foul on the rebounding action. And let's see here. The foul is on Rutland High's John Lind. That is his first, and that is the third on the team. So it's MSJ's basketball from the baseline. We're tied up at 7 apiece, 4:03 left first quarter. McCann sends it into Fuller to the right side of the lane. Forces the shot and hits as he drove into the lane. Greg Fuller on the runner, and MSJ goes up 9-7. The other way, Mayhew down the right sideline against the 2-3 Mountie zone. Around the horn, Eaton to Paller, left sideline to Conway now. Down the left baseline, shut off, brings it back out to Mayhew. Mayhew to the left side of the lane, feeds Conway left sideline for 3. Around the rim, no good. Rebound, run down by Eaton near the right sideline. Dribbles to the right side of the circle. His 15-footer's no good. Rebound to Lane. Lane to McCann, down court now to Keenan as MSJ controls in the forecourt. Keenan on the bounce, back out front, right side to Rich McCann, dribbles right to left. Raiders in the man-to-man, the Mounties in the zone. McCann back to the key on the right side of the circle to Keenan. Out front now to Fuller, left side of the circle. 15-footer around the rim, no good. We're going to whistle and a foul in the rebounding action. It's on Joe Lane, I believe, of MSJ. It is on Joe, his first. And, of course, a big key for the Mounties is for Joe Lane to stay out of foul trouble. Eaton and Lind are out for Rutland High. Joe Duval and Aaron Boynton back in. McCann is out for MSJ. And Mark Hebert has checked in. It's Rutland's basketball. Again, that was the second team foul on MSJ and the first on Joe Lane. Duval with it up top to Paller to the baseline to Boynton. Drives, lays it up, no good. Paller the tap, no good. Paller again back up, no good. And the rebound to Joe Lane. Lane to Hebert as the Mounties bring it the other way. Hebert into the forecourt. 2:50 left first quarter. MSJ 9, Rutland 7. Tomasi with it halfway between the circles. On the right to Joe Lane. Open from 15 off the back of the rim. Hangs in the air. No good. Rebound goes out of bounds. Off MSJ. It's Rutland's basketball. Todd Martineau checks in for MSJ now for Pete Tomasi. So it's Dave Pallard, Chris Mayhew, Jake Conway, Joe Duval, and Aaron Boynton for Rutland. Mark Hebert, Todd Martineau, Brian Keenan, Joe Lane, and Greg Fuller for MSJ. With it left sideline, Joe Duval, and Joe is traveling. It'll be MSJ's basketball. A story I want to tell you on Eaton. A couple of times, if I'm not mistaken, his team, I forgot what team he played for in the 5th and 6th grade, but a couple of times he scored all the points, like 20-6 the games were, and I saw his grandfather one day and said, you ever seen a guy score all the points for one team? As we got a steal by Boynton, and Boynton goes to Conway. Conway lays it up, no good. We got a foul against MSJ. Conway will be going to the line for 2 in the act of shooting. The foul is on Greg Fuller, his first. Third on the team. Conway will be at the line for 2. His grandfather, Tom Alberico, is here tonight. So have you ever seen that happen where a guy scores all the points for one team? I said, yeah, Jake Eaton last night in the 5th and 6th grade tournament. He was a little surprised I knew that in West Rutland. Conway's first shot is good. It was the Rutland Wildcats, Bob Fredette tells us. Conway has another one coming, and MSJ leads at 9-8. Second shot by Conway is no good. Rebound, tapped around. It goes to Paller, right side of the lane. Ducks underneath, sends it near the right sideline to Duval. Up for three, it's no good. Rebound, fought for, and it comes down to Fuller. Fuller covers up and goes to Mark Hebert. Hebert ahead now to Keenan. Down the right sideline to the right baseline. His 12-footer, no good. Rebound, Duval. We get a foul in the rebounding action. I believe on MSJ's Todd Martineau. It is on Todd Martineau, and that's the first on Todd, and that is the fourth on the team. We have 2:01 left in the first quarter. Of course, Jake Eaton's grandfather, Tom Alberico, former captain here at MSJ back in the mid-40s in football. Joe Duval left sideline. Cross court now to Mayhew. Dribbles into the lane. Mayhew feeds Paller right baseline. His runner's no good. We're going to whistle and a foul before the pass against MSJ. The foul is on Mark Hebert. That is his first. It's the fifth on the team. Hebert out. Rich McCann back in for MSJ. And we're just talking about Jake Eaton. He checks back in. Conway out for Rutland High. It's a common foul. Rutland's basketball from the baseline is now Tomasi checks in for MSJ, and Greg Fuller checks out. There's Mayhew looking around from the baseline for Rutland High. Loops it out front, top of the circle to Eaton for three. No good off the side of the rim. Rebound, fought for. Joe Lane comes down with it for MSJ. Outlet to McCann. McCann into the forecourt down the left sideline. Rich McCann dribbles left to right, top of the circle. On the bounce, right side it goes to Keenan. Keenan want to force it down low, picked off by Mayhew. Mayhew the other way for the Raiders. Mayhew to the left side of the lane, drops it off for Boynton. 14-footer's good in the lane. And the Raiders retake the lead. It's Rutland 10, MSJ 9, 1:18 left first quarter. Martineau picked up by Eaton in the backcourt. Some full court pressure now. He gets it to McCann. Picked up by Mayhew. McCann into the forecourt between the sideline and the middle. Dribbles toward the right sideline. McCann still controlling off the dribble. Stops the dribble now. Good defense by Mayhew. Now to Keenan, right side of the lane. 15-footer, no good. Keenan his own rebound in the lane. Dribbles back out to the key. On the right to McCann for three. It's in and out, no good. Rebound, fought for it. It goes out of bounds, and it goes off MSJ. It's Rutland's basketball.
4 different players have scored for both teams already, Jack. They're spreading out the scoring well in this one.
48 seconds left in the first quarter. Of course, not that much scoring either.
No.
Duval with it for Rutland High to the left side of the circle. Now to Eaton on the right wing to Chris Mayhew. 40 seconds left in the quarter. Mayhew out to Eaton, left side between the sideline and the key. Eaton on the bounce, left baseline to Boynton out front to Mayhew. To the key to the line. Dishes it off now for Paller. Ducks underneath, tried to lay it up, no good. But he was traveling anyway. It'll be MSJ's basketball. Greg Fuller comes in for MSJ. Brian Keenan checks out. MSJ's basketball in the backcourt with 29 seconds left in the first quarter. Rutland with a 1-point lead. The Raiders lead at 10-9. Pass comes in to Todd Martineau. Martineau will trot into the forecourt. Picked up by Eaton off the man-to-man. Gets it out to Fuller near midcourt. 20 seconds left in the quarter. Now McCann with it right sideline. McCann looking around out front to Tomasi. 15 seconds left in the quarter. Back to McCann right sideline. Out to Martineau. Back to McCann. Dribbles toward the lane, then gives it out to Martineau to Fuller out near midcourt. 7 seconds left in the quarter. Fuller dribbles to the key. Lost the handle. Picked up by McCann. Forces the three. It's an air ball. Eaton comes down with it as time expires, ending the first quarter. So the Mounties trying to set it up with one final shot at the end of the first quarter. Really couldn't get a good shot away. McCann had to force a three. Well, the second or two game tonight, for broadcast at a later date, was the coach of that Rutland Wildcat team that won the West Rutland Ed Glodzic 5th and 6th grade tournament when Jake Eaton was a 6th grader. And the game that we were alluding to, I thought it was about 25, 26 points. Actually, it was a 33-point game by Jake Eaton. He scored all 33 points.
And Coach Mayhew only had
by that great coach of the Rutland Wildcats.
He had one play. Go Jake.
Rutland's basketball here at the beginning of the second quarter. John Lind is back in for the Raiders. Eaton with it, and he drops it off now for Mayhew. Dribbles right to left, top of the circle. On the left to Conway to the left baseline. His shot is no good. It was partially deflected, went over the bucket, but we get a foul against MSJ. And as Joe Lane on the foul, he's got 2. We mentioned always a big key for the Mounties is to keep him out of foul trouble. That's the 6th-team foul on the Mounties, a shooting foul. Conway at the line for 2 for Rutland High. Mayhew, Conway, Lind, Aaron Boynton, and Jake Eaton. The alignment for Rutland. Conway's shot is good, and the Raiders lead it 11-9. Jake Conway with another. His shot is around the rim and in. He gets them both, and the Raiders lead at 12-9. Early going second quarter. Fuller, Lane, Rich McCann, Todd Martineau, and Pete Tomasi. The alignment for MSJ, and we're going to whistle and a foul in the backcourt against Rutland High. And it's on Chris Mayhew. And that foul on Mayhew is his first. That is the fourth on the team. So MSJ's basketball as McCann dribbles into the forecourt. Picked up by Mayhew. Dribbles toward the left sideline. Gets it to Fuller, left baseline. Down the baseline. Ducks underneath. Lays it up. No good. Rebound goes out of bounds off John Lind. It'll be MSJ's basketball. Rich McCann looking to put the ball into play from the baseline for MSJ as he looks around. Rich looking, still looking, still looking. Loops it out for Martineau. Martineau to the left side of the lane. Short jumper, no good. Rebound, Joe Lane in the lane. Back up off the glass, no good. Boynton the rebound for Rutland High. Outlet intended for Conway. Nice hustle by Fuller. He came back to knock the ball out of bounds. It'll be Rutland's basketball. Chris Mayhew slowly up the floor now for Rutland High against the 2-3 Mountie zone. Up top now to Boynton, dribbles into the lane on the right to Eaton. His 17-footer is no good. Rebound, fought for off Lynn. Tapped it out to Mayhew into the lane. His 12-footer, no good. Rebound, fought for. It goes to Lynn, left baseline. Back out now to Boynton between the sideline and the middle. We got a 3-second violation against Rutland High.
I'll tell you, Jack, both teams are having a problem trying to get something going constructively on either end of the court here.
Well, the first game was ugly, and this one's been ugly so far. Rich McCann into the forecourt for MSJ near the right sideline. He stops. Out front now to Todd Martineau. The Raiders have a 3-point lead with 6:42 left in the first half. Martineau right side of the circle. Martineau has his pass stolen away by Mayhew. Got Conway ahead. Mayhew stops left side of the lane. Gives it to Boynton in the lane. Short jumper's good. And the Raiders have opened up a 5-point lead. It's Rutland 14, MSJ 9. 6:25 left first half. Into the forecourt, Rich McCann dribbles right to left. Now on the left wing to Fuller for three. Bang! Greg Fuller hits the three. His first points of the ball game. And it's Rutland 14, MSJ 12. Eaton left sideline in the forecourt for Rutland High. On the cut to Mayhew, and Mayhew's fouled by Martineau. That puts the Mounties over the limit. Chris Mayhew will be at the line for a 1-and-1. Todd Martineau on the foul. That's number 2. Number 7 on the team as Aaron Bailey checks in for John Lynn for Rutland High. And Martineau is out. Brian Keenan back in for MSJ. Chris Mayhew, a 5'9" senior at the line for a 1-and-1. Again, the Mounties over the limit. His shot is good. Chris will get another. Rutland 15, MSJ 12. Second shot by Chris is up and good. Hits them both. Chris Mayhew with the 2 free throws. And Rutland goes up by 4. The Raiders lead at 16-12, coming down on 6 minutes left first half here at the Common Avenue Gym. And Tomasi wanted Skip Pratico, but that doesn't count. He's the referee. He threw it behind him and out of bounds. It'll be Rutland's basketball. Leon Wood wants a timeout. Timeout MSJ. 6:01 left in the half. 16-12. Rutland with a 4-point lead. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout.
Adelphia Cable of Rutland presents now before this great offer ends. 773-2755.
Jack Healey, John Center, back at the MSJ Common Avenue Gym. 6:01 left first half. Leon Wood just called for a timeout. The Mounties first. Raiders have the 16-12 lead. Happy birthday today to Bud Reese, who's 50 years old. People that have radios here inside the place, Bud is at the door closest to the stage here. And wish him a happy birthday at halftime. Hate to say it, but I thought he reached 50 a couple of years ago. But he is a young 50, Bud Reese. Rutland's basketball. Bailey with it at the left baseline, out to Conway for 3, and his shot is an air ball, comes down to Fuller. Gets it out to Rich McCann. McCann down the left sideline. McCann to the left baseline. Forces the shot. It's no good. Unbelievable if that went in. As Boynton comes down with a rebound, then lost it as he went to the deck. Lane then saves it to Keenan. If that went in, that would have been an ESPY award winner, I think, on ESPN. Keenan now to Fuller, dribbles right to left. Now to McCann down the left baseline. He lays it up and in. It's going to count. He got fouled. Rich McCann with an opportunity for a 3-point play. The 15 foul on Rutland. The basket will count. The foul is on Aaron Bailey. That is his second. Rutland 16, MSJ 14. 5:24 left in the half. And Rich McCann, opportunity for a three-point play for MSJ. And his shot is good. He rattles it home to complete the three-point play. Rutland 16, MSJ 15. Chris Mayhew, Aaron Bailey, Jake Conway, Jake Eaton, and Aaron Boynton for Rutland as they break the MSJ pressure. Boynton with it into the lane, running right-hander. Good off the glass. It's going to count. He got fouled. Aaron Boynton with an opportunity for a three-point play. 8th team foul on MSJ, and I believe that one, too, was on Joe Lane. And that would be his 3rd foul. It is number 3 on Joe Lane. He's out. Tim Camden is in for MSJ, a 5'11 sophomore, as Rutland now goes up 18-15, a 3-point Raider lead.
That's a big play right there for the Mounties, Jack, because they definitely need Joe in there.
Aaron Boynton's shot is up and around the rim and in. He gets the roll to complete the 3-point play. And Rutland leads it by a score of 19-15. A 4-point Raider lead, some full court zone pressure by the Raiders. McCann with it in the backcourt to Pete Tomasi. Tomasi breaks it to Keenan, now to Fuller left side for 3. Bang! Greg Fuller, his second 3, and it's 19-18. Rutland has the 1-point lead now with 4:50 left first half. Here's Conway the other way for the Raiders. On the left to Eaton, left side of the lane. 14-footer around the rim, no good. We got a foul on the rebounding action. I believe on Aaron Bailey of Rutland High. We'll see. It is on Aaron Bailey, and I believe that's 3 on Aaron, and that is the 6th on the team. As Aaron Bailey checks out with a 3 personal fouls. So Bailey on the bench with 3 for Rutland. Lane's got 3 for the Mounties on the bench now. Dave Paller checks in for Bailey for Rutland High. MSJ's basketball, and the Raiders lead it by 1, 19-18. Tomasi with the top of the circle on the right to Tim Camden. Now to Fuller to the left side of the lane. Running left-hander off the glass, no good. Rebound, fought for. Off Camden, back to Fuller in the lane. 14-footer's good. Camden kept it alive. Fuller got the bucket, and MSJ retakes the lead. The Mounties lead it 20-19. Left sideline, Jake Eaton with it. Eaton looking around to the left baseline. He goes to Aaron Boynton. Back out to Mayhew, top of the circle. On the left wing to Eaton, 17-footer, bang. And the Raiders retake the lead off the bucket by Jake Eaton. It's Rutland 21, MSJ 20. 4 minutes left in the first half. McCann with it in the forecourt for MSJ to the right sideline to Brian Keenan. Out to Fuller into the key. A 17-footer straight on. No good short. Rebound Paller. Outlet to Mayhew into the forecourt down the right sideline. Dribbles right to left into the lane. Ducks underneath and lays it in. Great move by Mayhew. And the Raiders go up by 3. It's Rutland 23, MSJ 20. The other way with it. Right sideline it is Brian Keenan. Keenan sends it out now to Fuller. Fuller now to Camden, left side of the circle. To the left sideline of Rich McCann, going to work on Mayhew. Dribbles into the lane. His fadeaway as an air ball comes down to Tomasi. Right baseline, back up, no good. Rebound McCann. McCann back up and around the rim and in. Nice offensive rebound for the bucket for Rich McCann. It's Rutland 23, MSJ 22. Conway to the right baseline for the Raiders. Cross court intended for Eaton, off him, out of bounds. MSJ's basketball as Mark Hebert checks in for MSJ. For Rich McCann. Eaton gets a breather for Rutland. Joe Duval checks in.
MSJ doing a good job answering Rutland punch for punch, Jack. Let's see, Greg Fuller's got 10 points so far for the Mounties.
And he was the last one to get the bucket, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
And as far as MSJ was concerned, here's Keenan right side. His shot is blocked by Boynton. Boynton comes down with it at the baseline. Sends it ahead to Mayhew. Mayhew into the forecourt for Rutland High. Mayhew to the left baseline. Sends it back out to Duval, now to Boynton into the lane. 14-footer, no good. Rebound goes out of bounds off Dave Paller, MSJ's basketball. 2:49 left first half. Rutland 23, MSJ 22. Fuller, Hebert, Keenan, Camden, and Tomasi right now for MSJ. Hebert gives it to Fuller near the right sideline. Back to Hebert halfway between the circles. Back to Fuller near the right sideline. Back out front near the midcourt circle to Tomasi. Back to Fuller. Fuller dribbles once. Back to Keenan. Back to Fuller near the right sideline. 2:30 left in the first half. Camden with it. Back to Hebert, midcourt circle. And on the cut to Fuller. Fuller drives baseline and lays it in. Pretty play. And the Mounties lead it now, 24-23.
They lulled Rutland to sleep with that little stall there, and then Greg Fuller took off, and he is quick.
Conway at the left baseline, gets shut off and double team. Grabbed it again as he lost the handle out to Mayhew into the lane. His running right-hander around the rim and in. Got the touch, Chris Mayhew, and Rutland goes up by 1. It's Rutland 25, MSJ 24. A minute 58 left first half. Hebert on the right to Keenan near the right sideline. Picked up by Boynton off the man-to-man. Gets it out to Camden, back to Keenan. Brian Keenan between the sideline and the key. Sends it out front to Pete Tomasi near the midcourt circle. Back to Keenan near the right sideline. Minute 42 left in the half. Keenan to the right sideline to Mark Hebert. Back to Keenan. Way out front now to Fuller. Way out front left side. Fuller now gives it to Camden halfway between the circles. Back on the right to Keenan. Keenan dribbles a few times, sends it out to Tomasi near the midcourt circle. Right side back to Keenan now. Keenan now to Hebert halfway between the circles. On the left to Fuller. Fuller to the left corner to Camden. Fuller got it back again out to Hebert. Hebert dribbles left to right, gives it to Keenan right sideline. And at 15 left in the half. Keenan now to Camden out front. Back to Keenan near the right sideline. Keenan dribbles back up the sideline, sends it back out front left side to Fuller, down the sideline to Hebert. Hebert has an opening, try to find Keenan, and back to steal. Duval for Rutland High. Got it to Boynton to Mayhew. Mayhew into the forecourt. 57 seconds left in the first half. Boynton now to Duval left side, dribbles left to right on the bounce out front to Conway. Underneath finds Boynton, pretty play, lays it in. Great pass by Conway. It's Rutland by 3. Rutland 27, MSJ 24. 40 seconds left first half. Hebert with it out near midcourt for MSJ. To the right sideline to Brian Keenan, back to Hebert. Halfway between the circles, back to Keenan right sideline. Keenan back out to Camden. 28 seconds left in the half. The Raiders have a 3-point lead. Pitch and catch, Fuller and Camden. Fuller gets it back again. Left sideline way out front. 20 seconds left in the half now. Tomasi with it halfway between the circles. Tomasi dribbles to the right and stops. Looking around on the left now to Hebert. To the left sideline to Camden. Back up the sideline to Hebert. 12 seconds left in the half. Back to Camden. Down the sideline. Back out to Fuller. 7 seconds left in the half. Now to Keenan. Top of the circle. On the left to Camden. Left side of the lane. Forces the shot. It's no good. Paller the rebound as time expires, ending the first half. So MSJ twice trying to spread it out and get that one shot, and one time there was a Raiders steal. The other time they had to force a shot and never really got a good one away. So we played a half here in game 2. MSJ and Rutland at the Common Avenue Gym tonight. At halftime it is Rutland 27, MSJ 24. And we'll be back after this timeout. 3-point lead over MSJ. Girls basketball seedings and pairings announced today in Division 1. Rutland number 11. But Rutland will be playing at BFA. BFA got the number 6 seed in the first round on the 14th. In Division 2, Otter Valley seated number 5, Fairhaven number 12, Mill River seated number 9, and will play at number 8 for Gens. Otter Valley, by the way, will host Fairhaven. MSJ seated number 8 will host number 9, Arlington in Division 3 on Tuesday the 13th here at the MSJ Common Avenue Gym at 7. That takes care of at least a couple of schools here, including Rutland and MSJ. And the girls basketball seedings and pairings announced today by the Vermont Principals Association. It'll be MSJ's basketball here, MSJ going left to right in the second half as we look out, Rutland going right to left. With it left corner, it is Rich McCann with it. McCann in with Keenan, Fuller, Joe Lane, and Tomasi. Lane's got the 3 fouls for MSJ's in there now, and Bailey the 3 for Rutland, who's in there right now. On the cut, it goes to Fuller. His runner in the lane is no good. Rebound to Eaton. Eaton for Rutland High into the forecourt down the right sideline. Eaton, Conway, Bailey, Boynton, and Mayhew right now for Rutland High. Mayhew out front to Conway, top of the circle. Picked up by Rich McCann on the right to Jake Eaton. Dribbles once, now to Bailey, right side of the lane, 12-footer, no good. Rebound to Fuller. Fuller gives it to Rich McCann, rifles it in, intended for Keenan, picked off by Boynton. Boynton down the right sideline. Boynton puts on the afterburners, drives and lays it in as he went right down the right baseline. And Rutland goes up by a score of 29-24. Early going third quarter. Rich McCann, left side of the circle, gets it out to Pete Tomasi. Tomasi dribbles right to left, stops top of the circle, now to Fuller. Fuller to the key to the line to the lane, is running left-hander, no good, an air ball comes down to Boynton. Outlet to Mayhew. Mayhew into the forecourt, down the right sideline. Chris into the lane, dumps it off for Boynton, lays it up, no good. Rebound tapped out, it goes to Conway, into the lane, 14-footer, around the rim, no good. Tapped up by Boynton, no good, went over the bucket, and it comes down to Joe Lane. Again for the Mounties, Lane, Rich McCann, Greg Fuller, Brian Keenan, and Pete Tomasi. A 5-point Raider lead, 6:30 left third quarter. McCann with it right sideline on the bounce to the right baseline to Keenan. Back out to McCann to Fuller, straight on for 3, no go. Rebound to Jake Eaton. Eaton on the outlet to Mayhew. Starts it up down the left sideline now. Stops the dribble down low, wanted to go to Boynton, knocked away right to Eaton in the lane. Finds Boynton at the baseline. He goes baseline and lays it in. Nice play by Eaton. 31-24, Rutland up by 7 now. as Keenan almost had the ball knocked away, and we got a foul against Rutland High as Keenan dribbled into the forecourt. Foul is on Jake Conway. It's number 1 on Conway, and number 1 on the team, Leon Wood, wants a timeout. The Mounties second, 6:01 left third quarter. Our score, Rutland 31, MSJ 24. Back after this 30-second break. Hello. Center Tom McCann will be checking in for MSJ here after the timeout. MSJ unofficially has 2 left, 31-24. Rutland with a 7-point lead, 6:01 left third quarter. It was announced today, actually I got a report that Mona Garone, for a long time, the girls basketball coach and athletic director at Oxbow, announced her resignation as both AD and also the girls basketball coach at Oxbow. Oxbow pulled that monumental upset against Windsor a year ago in the Division III state title game in girls basketball.
Good time to retire before they meet again, huh?
Yeah, I think so, even though they're not too bad this year either. Tom McCann at the right baseline lays it up and in. Tom McCann checked in for Brian Keenan, so the Mounties on the board here in the second half, 31-26. The Raiders lead it by 5 as Conway comes cross-court to the left sideline to Jake Eaton, dribbles once against the Mountie zone. On the cut to Bailey, ducked underneath, knocked away, Tom McCann on the steal. Tom and Rich McCann in there right now, Pete Tomasi, Greg Fuller, and Joe Lane for MSJ. The Raiders have used the man-to-man exclusively. Tomasi with it, right baseline, double-teamed, looks around, forces the shot from the baseline. It's no good. Rebound, Boynton. Throws it into the forecourt for Conway. Conway drives, lays it up, no good. He was fouled by Fuller. Jake Conway will be at the line for 2 shots in the active shooting as Dave Paller gets set to check in for Rutland High. And the foul on Greg Fuller.
It's his second, Jack.
Is his second. That is the first on the team. Paller's in for Boynton for Rutland High now. Jake Conway at the line for 2, the junior. 5'10" junior. He was in the active shooting. And his first shot is good. Jake will get another. Rutland 32, MSJ 26. Second shot by Conway is good. Gets them both 2 free throws for Jake Conway, and Rutland leads it by 7, 33-26. Full court Raider pressure as Fuller has in the backcourt, picked up by Conway. Breaks the pressure into the forecourt down the left sideline. Goes to the left side of the lane on the cut to Tom McCann. Short jumper, good off the glass. Tom's got a couple of buckets, right?
Yeah, he's got 4 points now off the bench.
33-28, a 5-point Raider lead. Out front it is Eaton with it. On the bounce right sideline, it goes to Jake Conway. Cross court left wing, it goes to Eaton to Bailey left baseline, and Bailey is traveling. It'll be MSJ's basketball as John Lynn checks in for Rutland High for Aaron Bailey. 4:46 left in the third quarter. Rutland has a 5-point lead, 33-28. Mounties basketball, Rich McCann picked up by Chris Mayhew way out front. Stops the dribble up top to Lane. Got a steal by John Lynn. Lynn now goes to Paller. Paller up to Eaton. Still in the backcourt. Eaton gets it to Chris Mayhew, midcourt circle in the forecourt. Chris Mayhew to the top of the circle, looking around on the left wing to Eaton. Eaton looking inside, dribbles once on the bounce, left baseline to Lynn. Back out to Conway, left side of the circle for 3. It is an air ball, and it comes down to Greg Fuller. Fuller sends it ahead now to Rich McCann, down to Pete Tomasi, stops left wing in the forecourt, back out to Fuller. Dribbles once to the left sideline to Rich McCann, dribbles toward the middle, lost the handle, scramble for the basketball, and we have a whistle. And a foul on Rich McCann. As he went diving after the basketball, first on McCann, that is the second on the team. As Joe Duval checks in for Rutland High for, I believe, let's see, who's he checking in for? I believe it was Conway who just checked out.
Yeah, Conway.
Eaton goes now to Paller at the left baseline. Drives baseline, lays it up, no good. Paller and Tomasi both came down with it. And we got a jump ball situation, and it will be Rutland's basketball. Mark Hebert has also checked in for MSJ here. We'll get to the alignment for both teams when we have an opportunity. As Mayhew gets it out to Lynn halfway between the circles. On the left now to Mayhew, down the left baseline, gets double teamed, tried to go to Paller, lost it out of bounds, but it went off a Mountie player, either Tom McCann or Joe Lane, so it'll be Rutland's basketball from the baseline. Chris Mayhew looking to throw the ball into play, gets it in left corner to Eaton, out to Duval, left wing for 3. No good off the back of the rim. Rebound tapped around. It goes to Eaton, back up and good. Jake Eaton got the offensive rebound for the bucket. It's 35-28. The Raiders have opened up a 7-point lead. Hebert, Fuller, Tomasi, Tom McCann and Joe Lane for MSJ. So Hebert came in for Rich McCann as we get a foul against Rutland. And that foul on the Raiders is their second here in the half, and they called that one on Chris Mayhew. That's his second. The Raiders are going with Mayhew, Lind, Eaton, Paller, and Duval. Greg Fuller getting set to put the ball into play from the baseline for MSJ. Loops it out, right sideline to Hebert, back to Fuller, dribbles right to left, stops the dribble, back out to Hebert. Mark Hebert controls the dribble near the right sideline on the bounce, right baseline to Pete Tomasi, back out to Hebert, right wing. Hebert stops the dribble back to the right sideline now to Tomasi, back out right wing to Hebert, on the left to Greg Fuller, picked up by Duval off the man-to-man. On the bounce, it goes to Lane, left side of the lane, out to Hebert, and he's traveling. It'll be Rutland's basketball. I don't believe the Raiders have led by more than 7 in this game, and they have a 7-point lead right now, 35-28, so it matches their biggest lead. Less than 3 minutes left, third quarter. Raiders controlling with John Lynn, gets it out to Mayhew, into the lane. 14-footer partially deflected, and it came down to Tom McCann. McCann to Hebert, now to Tomasi. Left side of the lane, forces the shot, no good off the glass. We'll get a whistle and a foul. And it's against MSJ. And it's on Joe Lane, and that is his 4th personal foul. And that's the 3rd on the team, so Joe Lane's got 4 fouls. He'll sit down. Tim Camden will be checking in here. Well, check it. It'll be Brian Keenan checking in for MSJ. Right sideline, it'll be Eaton going to Paller, and we're going to whistle and a foul against MSJ. It's on Hebert, I believe. 2nd on Hebert. 4th on the team. Here comes Brian Keenan now, and Keenan will check in for Joe Lane. He sits down with the 4 fouls. .236 left, third quarter. Raiders matching their biggest lead. They lead it by 7 as the pass comes into Eaton near the right sideline to Duval, top of the circle for 3. No good off the board. Rebound tapped around, scramble, and Hebert runs it down in the corner. Nice hustle for Mark Hebert. Dribbles into the forecourt for MSJ. Picked up by Mayhew. Out front now to Tom McCann, to the left side of the lane, into the lane, forces the shot, and hits off the glass. It's going to count. He got fouled. Tom McCann has an opportunity for a 3-point play. What a job he's done here in the second half coming off the bench. It is Rutland 35, MSJ 30. And they call the foul, let's see, it's the 3rd team foul on Rutland. They call it on John Lind. That's his 2nd. And Lind is out, and Aaron Boynton back in for Rutland High.
Tom has done a nice job off the bench in this quarter for the Mounties, Jack. He's got 6 points and at least 3 or 4 rebounds, so he's doing a nice job.
And Tom McCann hits the free throw to complete the 3-point play. It's 35-31. Rutland now with a 4-point lead. With it is Eaton, left sideline in the forecourt for the Raiders, out to Mayhew on the right to Duval. Between the sideline and the key, back to the left sideline to Eaton, dribbles left to right into the lane, out to Mayhew now near the right sideline. Halfway between the sideline and the key to Duval to Eaton, left sideline. Dribbles once up top now to Boynton into the lane. A short jumper, no go. We're going to whistle. And a foul against MSJ. And it's on Tom McCann. A foul on Tom McCann, and that is his 1st, and that is the, let's see, that is the 5th on the team. So it's a common foul, Rutland's basketball. With it out front, Dave Paller on the left now to Mayhew. Mayhew now on the cut to Paller, on the bounce to Boynton. Reverse layup is good as he went baseline. Rutland 37, MSJ 31, a minute 38 left, third quarter. Fuller on Duval into the forecourt for MSJ. Fuller now to Hebert, to the key to the line, and Hebert's traveling again. Did the same thing before he went to the dribble. He took a couple of steps, and Rich McCann checks in for Mark Hebert for MSJ. Todd Martineau is in for MSJ, and checking out is Brian Keenan.
Aaron Boynton's leading the Raiders now, Jack, with 15 points.
Chris Mayhew slowly up court now for the Raiders against the Mountie zone. Got it to Duval, now to Paller, left side of the lane. Back out to Eaton, top of the circle for 3. Bang! Jake Eaton calmly hits the 3. It is 40-31. The Raiders with a 9-point lead, their biggest lead of the ball game. Tomasi is fouled as he dribbled into the lane. He was fouled by Dave Paller. It would be the 4th team fouled on Rutland High. A foul on Paller is his 1st. The Mounties will put the ball into play from the baseline. Rich McCann looking, gets it into Tom, left sideline. Tom McCann gets it out now to Fuller into the lane, ducks underneath, lays it up, no good, rebound Paller. Strong rebound for Paller, outlet to Mayhew. Down court, wanted to go to Eaton. The ball knocked out of bounds by Tomasi. 1:01 left third quarter. Rutland with a 9-point lead. The Raiders lead at 40-31. Jake Eaton getting set to put the ball into play. Jake looking around, gets it out to Mayhew near the midcourt circle against the 2-3 zone. Goes to the left wing now to Eaton, up for three. Bang! A couple in a row from three-point land for Jake Eaton, the freshman. And the Raiders lead at 43-31. They've opened up a 12-point lead. 45 seconds left third quarter. Tom McCann in the key. Gives it to Tomasi now to Fuller. Fuller to the left sideline of Martineau, back out front to Rich McCann. 35 seconds left third quarter. Rich McCann to Tom McCann into the lane. Lost the handle. Picked off by Eaton. Eaton the other way for Rutland High into the forecourt. Down the sideline for Mayhew. Back out to Eaton. 22 seconds left in the quarter. Back to Mayhew. He'll start it over again as he dribbles left to right. Back to the left sideline. It goes to Eaton. 15 seconds left in the quarter. Rutland with a 12-point lead. Duval with it. Duval goes to Mayhew way out near midcourt. 8 seconds left in the third quarter. Mayhew picked up by Rich McCann out front now. Mayhew into the lane. Pulls up for the short jumper. No good. Rebound to Rich McCann. And he goes to the deck as time expires, ending the third quarter. So we play three here at the Common Avenue Gym at MSJ after 3 our score. Rutland High 43, MSJ 31 as the Raiders have opened up their biggest lead. They lead a point halftime lead to a 12-point lead here as we get set for the fourth quarter. Rutland 43, MSJ 31. And the freshman Tom McCann scored all the Mount Heap points in that quarter. All 7 points, right?
What a job he did. Dave Kinsman seems to be a lot calmer now, Jack, than he used to be back when I was playing.
We might add John Center played on the 1976 state championship team at West Rutland under Coach Dave Kinsman. Matter of fact, the day you beat Proctor up at the UVM Patrick Gym was the first day that I met Dave Kinsman, as I predicted Proctor to win that game.
He keeps looking over here at this trophy. When there's a trophy on the table and Dave Kinsman's on the floor, watch out.
I didn't say that Proctor would win. I just said that they were the favorite and West Rutland was the dark horse. And Kinsman came over and after the game and said, I guess we're your light horse now. And that was the first time I ever talked to him. And John Center, my right, sitting here at MSJ, was on that West Side team. Here's Fuller, short jumper. It's no good. Rebound Paller as the Mounties had the basketball at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Mayhew with it now. Mayhew down the sideline at Duval. Duval controlling off the dribble, stops, comes cross court to Conway, left sideline. On the bounce to Paller, left side of the lane, into the lane. A short jumper around the rim and in. It's going to count. He got fouled. Dave Paller with an opportunity for a three-point play as the Raiders are establishing themselves now. Rutland goes up by 14. Rutland 45, MSJ 31, early going third quarter. The foul is on, let's see, who they call it?
Frank Keenan, right?
Or Mark Hebert, right?
It's on Hebert. Okay.
As the shot is up and around the rim and in for Dave Paller. Oh, they had Hebert's number up on the board. You're right. It is. Hebert's not in there. It's 45-31 now. Rutland with the lead is now Conway on the steal, but we got a whistle and a foul on Conway. What do we have now?
A technical foul.
A technical foul on Coach Leon Wood of MSJ. Who did they call that last foul on MSJ on?
Hebert.
It was on Hebert? Was he in the game just then and then came out? Because he's on the bench right now. That's who they get up on the board. They got a technical foul here on Leon Wood, MSJ coach Leon Wood. That foul before on the Mounties. Well, and now it's...
I was right, Jim.
It was on Keenan before, yeah. They had it wrong on the board. That's the second on Keenan. Technical foul on Leon Wood. This puts MSJ over the limits. The 17th foul, but Conway will be at the line for 2 for Rutland High because of the technical, and he misses the first. He'll get another. It's 46-31. And it's the score right now, and Rutland has the 15-point lead. Paller just a few moments ago with a three-point play. Conway hits the second, gets 1 out of 2. The 2 technical foul shots. The technical foul called against MSJ coach Leon Wood. It is now Rutland 47, MSJ 31, and it is Rutland's basketball. MSJ now with 17 fouls, Rutland with 4. Again, that foul before was on Brian Keenan. Hebert was on the bench. So unless he came in quickly and fouled somebody and sat down. Rutland's basketball. Paller in the lane, lays it up, no good. Rebound, fought for, and we got a whistle and a foul on the rebounding action. Joe Lane in for MSJ playing with the 4 fouls. The foul is on Rutland's Joe Duval. That's his first, 5th on the team. Rich McCann, Greg Fuller, Brian Keenan, Pete Tomasi, and Joe Lane for MSJ. Aaron Boynton, Chris Mayhew, Jake Conway, Joe Duval, and Dave Paller for Rutland High. Rutland leads it by 16. 7:07 left in the ball game. Fuller with it left sideline out to Keenan, top of the circle for 3. It's an air ball, and Fuller tried to save it, couldn't do it. It goes out of bounds. It'll be Rutland's basketball. Chris Mayhew slowly up court for Rutland High. Dribbles into the forecourt down the middle. Dribbles to the right now. Picked up by McCann as the Mounties are in the man-to-man. Up top now to Boynton, and we get a whistle. It's a 3-second violation against Rutland High. Todd Martineau is in for MSJ, and Martineau will check in for Brian Keenan. And we got the 3rd timeout for Coach Leon Wood. MSJ's 3rd timeout unofficially. They have 1 left. Timeout on the floor. 6:49 left in the ball game. Our score, Rutland 47, MSJ 31. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout.
Hello.
Men's Cup for the 2nd straight year for sweeping the season series, or at least winning it last year. Rutland won 2 out of the 3 regular season games. Of course, the 2 teams met 4 times, and Rutland won 3 out of the 4. If MSJ comes back and wins, the Cup goes to one place for 6 months, the other place for 6 months. If Rutland holds on to the 16-point lead with 6:49 left in the game, Rutland will get the Fireman's Cup. Now the alignment for the Raiders, Chris Mayhew, Jake Conway, Aaron Boynton, Joe Duval, and Dave Paller. For the Mounties, Tim Camden is in. Greg Fuller, Joe Lane. Also in there is Rich McCann and Todd Martineau. Mounties basketball. McCann at the free throw line. He fires up. It's no good. Rebound to Boynton. Boynton outlet to Mayhew into the forecourt. Mayhew rifles it for Conway to Duval. Goes baseline. Shot blocked out of bounds by Todd Martineau. That's played by Martineau. Mayhew looking to put the ball into play from the baseline. Chris Mayhew looking around on the bounce, gets it into Paller. Shot deflected by Lane. Foul on Lane. Lane is out. Joe Lane on his 5th personal foul, and according to our statistics, that's it. He's fouled out of the ball game. And that is the 8th team foul on MSJ. Joe Lane is fouled out, gets a nice hand from the MSJ folks here. And from his teammates, Aaron Bailey is in for Aaron Boynton for Rutland High. And we'll see who will check in for Joe Lane. It will be Tom McCann. Joe Lane is fouled out. Not a bad crowd here at all. It's just about capacity, I would say. There are some gaps in the seats, but
nice crowd.
It'll be Dave Paller at the line. And his shot is up. No good. He'll get another. He's at the line for 2. Second shot for Paller is up and good. Gets 1 out of 2, and the Raiders go up 48-31. 6:27 left in the ball game here at the Common Avenue Gym. Rich McCann with it near the left sideline. Gets it out to Todd Martineau on the right to Fuller. Fuller to the key. On the cut goes to Tim Camden now. He sends it to the left baseline for Martineau. His jumper's no good. Rebound to Bailey. Bailey now to Mayhew. Mayhew into the forecourt on the bounce down the left sideline for Joe Duval. On the cut to Bailey. Bailey in the lane. Cross-court right sideline to Conway. Conway dribbles into the lane. Ducks underneath. Lays it up. No good, but he got his own rebound and laid it up and good. What an athletic move by Conway. 50-31. The Raiders are up by 19. 5:50 left in the ball game. Rich McCann with it near the right sideline. Rich McCann dribbles to the free throw line. He's fouled. Fouls on Jake Conway. That's the 16th foul on the Raiders. As Jake Eaton and Mike Stempek check in for Rutland High, Conway and Duval are out. And foul on Conway is his 2nd.
And Tom McCann still the only Mountie that scored in this half, Jack.
Mounties had 24 points at halftime. We have 5:45 left in the game, and they have 31 points now to 7 points from Tom McCann. Here's Fuller, top of the circle for 3. No good. Rebound pulled down by Mayhew. Loops it into the forecourt now for Eaton. Eaton dribbles left to right. On the right goes to Mayhew. There's Mayhew out near the midcourt circle. The Mounties in the man-to-man. Mayhew dribbles to the left. Mayhew still controlling off the dribble. Stops the dribble. Looks around. Fires out front now to Eaton. Top of the circle on the right to Mike Stempek. Underneath to Mayhew, and he lays it in. Great ball movement. And Mayhew found it at the right baseline off the pass from Stempek. Rutland 52, MSJ 31. The Raiders are up by 21. 5:09 left in the ball game. Close ball game for a while, and the Raiders opening up things here in the second half. Martineau with it, dribbles right to left on the bounce out to Rich McCann, straight on for three. No good. Tom McCann, the rebound, and we got a whistle and a foul against the Raiders, I believe. It's on Dave Paller. It is the 7th team foul on the Raiders, so from here on in, the teams will be going to the line. Aaron Carboneau checks in for Chris Mayhew for Rutland High, and Chris with an excellent ball game tonight. Tom McCann will be at the line for a 1-and-1. And that foul on Paller is second. And John Lynn checks in for Dave Paller. He did a nice job while he was in there. MSJ 0 for its last 8 from the field. 3 for 16 in the second half. Tom McCann at the line for a 1-and-1. The freshman for MSJ, his shot is good. He'll get another. So MSJ scored 8 points here in the second half. McCann has them all. 52-32. Rutland with a 20-point lead. Second shot by Tom McCann is good. Gets them both. Rutland 52, MSJ 33. Stempek down low to Lynn. Lays it up. No good. Deflected by Tom McCann. McCann comes down with it. Now that to Greg Fuller. Fuller back to Rich McCann now. Rich McCann into the forecourt. Rich McCann picked up by Carboneau off the man-to-man on the bounce. Left sideline to Fuller for three. It's no good, and we got a foul on Tom McCann. 9th team foul on the Mounties. The Raider will be going to the line for a 1-and-1. And the foul on Tom is his second.
MSJ just can't buy a hoop at all, Jack, I'll tell you.
4:36 left in the game. It's Rutland 52, MSJ 33. It'll be Aaron Bailey at the line for a 1-and-1 for Rutland. Next team foul on MSJ will send the Raiders to the line for 2. Aaron Bailey, the left-hander, looks and fires. He's got it, and he'll get another. Rutland by 20. Rutland 53, MSJ 33. Second shot by Bailey is up and good. Aaron Bailey gets them both. It is Rutland 54, MSJ 33. With it is Fuller. Fuller to the left baseline. He's fouled by Mike Stempek. It would be the first on Stempek, 8th on the team. Fuller will be at the line for a 1-and-1. 4:32 left in the ball game. We'll have a 6-player award winner for both teams from H.A. Eddy Energy Fast Break at the end of the game, and both will get the cap from H.A. Eddy Energy Fast Break. We'll also have 2 J.P. Carrera & Sons MVPs at the end of the game, getting all the souvenirs from J.P. Carrera & Sons. Fuller at the line for a 1-and-1 for MSJ. Fuller looks and fires, and it is no good. Rebound, Aaron Bailey. Bailey in with Eaton, Stempek, Aaron Carboneau, and John Lynn for Rutland High. Stempek with it right sideline. Feeds Lynn right side of the lane, dribbles into the lane. We have a whistle. I believe they called a 3-second violation against Rutland High. Fireman's Cup, by the way, presented by the Rutland City Fire Department. With it in the forecourt is Rich McCann to the free throw line. Fires up, short, no good. Rebound is tapped around and goes to Bailey, which is a profound statement by me. Obviously, who else would present it? Lynn lays it up, no good. And Eaton lost it out of bounds on the rebound. However, we got a foul. I guess the Fireman's Cup could come from an insurance company, couldn't it?
Sure it could.
Yeah. We got a foul against Rutland High as Aaron Bailey is out, and into the ball game is Greg Sinus for Rutland High. Tomasi and Keenan getting set to check in for MSJ. Both teams have 9 team fouls. Martineau's out. Keenan is in. Tomasi will check in probably for Tim Camden. It's Tim Camden at the line for a 1-and-1 for the Mounties, and his shot is up off the back of the rim. No good, and the rebound is controlled by Greg Sinus, who just checked in. Sinus sends it ahead now to Carboneau. Carboneau into the forecourt, lost the handle, picked off by Rich McCann. McCann all the way to the lane, drops it to Tom McCann, and Tom lays it in. Rich to Tom, it's 54-35.
Who else for MSJ, right?
Rutland has the lead here with 3:42 left in the ball game as Lind is fouled at the baseline either by Rich McCann or Tim Camden. 10th team fouled against MSJ. This would put the Raiders to the line for 2. It would be John Lynn going to the line here for 2. Next foul on Rutland would send the Mounties to the line for 2 as Tomasi is in for Tim Camden for MSJ. Ethan Barron getting set to check in for Rutland High. In just a moment here as John Lind is at the line for 2 for Rutland. His first shot is up and good. John will get another. As Barron checks in now for Jake Eaton. Rutland 55, MSJ 35, 3:43 left in the ball game. Second shot by Lind is good. John Lind gets them both. It is Rutland 56, MSJ 35. Rich McCann the other way for MSJ. Rich and Tom McCann, Tomasi, Keenan, and Fuller right now for MSJ. Fuller goes to Keenan in the key. Back to Fuller, right side for three. It's no good. We got a whistle and a foul. It's a foul on Ethan Barron, and Greg Fuller will be at the line for 3 shots. He was fouled in the act of shooting a 3, so he'll have 3 shots for MSJ here from the line. Greg Sinus, John Lynn, Ethan Barron, Aaron Carboneau, and Mike Stempek in there right now for Rutland High. A rarity. You don't see this too often, but Fuller's first of 3 is no good. He has 2 more coming.
Coach Kinsman shaking his head. He says, I don't teach it that way.
Second shot by Fuller is good. He's got another one. He's hit 1 out of 2. Another one coming. 56-36, Rutland by 20. Third shot by Greg Fuller is up and good. He gets 2 out of 3. It is Rutland 56, MSJ 37. 3:31 left in the ball game. Aaron Carboneau with it in the backcourt for Rutland High. Carboneau into the forecourt down the right sideline. Carboneau sends it out to Barron, top of the circle. Back to Carboneau. Dribbles right to left, and he had it knocked down. Scramble for the basketball. Fuller runs it down. Fuller fouled by Barron. Everybody going to the line for 2 from here on in. Barron second, and at the line will be Greg Fuller for 2. Mark Hebert getting set to check in for MSJ, and he checks in for Rich McCann. Tuesday night, we have Rutland hosting Springfield in boys basketball, and that's our next game after tonight. We got MSJ Rutland hockey, first of 2 on Wednesday night, the 14th. Fuller's first shot is good. Greg will get another. It is Rutland 56, MSJ 38, 3:18 left in the ball game.
Speaking of Springfield, Jack, they had about 3 games right in a row where they went overtime or double overtime to get victories.
Or they lost every one.
Or they lost them.
Fuller hits the second as well. 56-39, Rutland High with the lead here. As Carboneau goes to Stempek, right baseline, 15-footers, no good. Rebound, Barron fade away from the baseline. An air ball, scramble, and Fuller comes down with it. You know, Springfield lost in double overtime to Mount Anthony, lost to Rutland in overtime, and lost to Hartford in overtime. As Tomasi tried to go up with a 3, he was fouled by Mike Stempek. And he'll be at the line for 3, and we got a timeout, Rutland. Mike Stempek on the foul, he is second, and we said a rarity, and now we've seen 2 in the last minute or so. Pete Tomasi fouled in the act of shooting a 3. Will be at the line for 3 when we come back. Timeout on the floor, Dave Kinsman with a 3 by Mike Stempek, again his second. So Pete's at the line for 3 for MSJ.
And that's why Coach Kinsman called that timeout, Jack, because that's not something you want to get your team in the habit of doing, is following somebody behind that arc and scoring easy points like that. They've got a good lead in this one, but if they do it in a close game, it could cost them.
And Pete misses the first. He has 2 more coming. Second shot by Pete Tomasi is good. He's got 1 out of 2 so far. He has another one coming. Rutland 56, MSJ 40. We have 2:59 left in the ball game. Third free throw coming up for Pete Tomasi, and the third one is no good off the back of the rim. Rebound to Barron. Barron for Rutland High gets it to Carboneau. Carboneau, Barron, Stempek, Sinus and Lind in there right now for Rutland High, and Carboneau's fouled by Mark Hebert. Aaron Carboneau will try to get into the book as he'll be at the line for 2. Foul on Hebert is his 3rd. Tom McCann, Pete Tomasi, Fuller, Hebert, and Keenan in there right now for MSJ. 2:52 left in the ball game. Aaron Carboneau at the line for 2, and his first shot is good. Aaron will get another. Rutland goes up by 17. Rutland 57, MSJ 40. Second shot by Carboneau is good. Aaron gets them both. It is Rutland 58, MSJ 40. The other way, Mark Hebert for MSJ, picked up by Carboneau off the man-to-man. Hebert on the bounce, goes to Fuller, dribbles right to left into the lane. He lays it up and in. Nice move to the bucket for Greg Fuller. It is Rutland 58, MSJ 42. 2:35 left in the ball game. Carboneau roars into the forecourt. On the bounce out to Sinus, left side of the circle, to Barron, left sideline. Back out to Mike Stempek, wanted to go underneath, knocked away by Tomasi, went right to Sinus. Drives baseline, lays it up, no good. Rebound, chased down at the corner by Hebert, but Hebert apparently stepped on the baseline. It'll be Rutland's basketball. Rich McCann is in for MSJ for Brian Keenan. So it's Rich and Tom McCann, Hebert, Fuller, and Tomasi for MSJ now. Again, Carboneau, Sinus, Lind, Ethan Barron, and Mike Stempek for Rutland. Pass comes into Stempek to Carboneau at the left baseline. Wanted to feed it to Lind, picked off by Tomasi. Gets it to Hebert. Hebert into the forecourt, down the right sideline, dribbles right to left. Got it to the baseline now to Fuller, right side of the lane, ducks underneath, lays it up, no good. Rebound, John Lind. Lind double team to the backcourt. Lind dribbles out. Lind lost the handle, and then he was whistled down for traveling. MSJ wants a timeout, the final timeout for Coach Leon Wood. Unofficially, MSJ has no timeouts left. 2:01 left in the game, our score. Rutland 58, MSJ 42. We'll be back after this 30-second break. The time is now. It's the coach at Mill River. I'm sure they see some Mill River games, too. Play back in, MSJ's basketball. Here's Fuller left side for three, and he drills it. Greg Fuller with a three from the left side. It's 58-45. Rutland with a lead. 1:50 left in the ball game. With it is Barron. Gets it to Greg Sinus between the right sideline and the middle. Sinus finds the handle. And we got a foul against MSJ. I believe it's on Hebert. And that's 4 on Mark Hebert. Both teams going to the line for 2 shots from here on in, as we mentioned, both well over the limit here. Well over the 10-shot limit, or the 10-foul limit, team-wise. Sinus at the line for 2. 1:43 left in the ball game. And his first shot is good. He'll get another. Left-hander. A 14-point Rutland lead. Rutland 59, MSJ 45. Sinus on the second shot. It's up off the back of the rim. No good. Lynn looking for the rebound, but it goes to Mark Hebert of MSJ. Roars into the forecourt. On the right to Rich McCann. Head fakes into the lane. Ducks underneath. Lays it up and in. It's going to count. He got fouled. Rich McCann on the good move to the bucket's got an opportunity for a three-point play. Sinus on the foul. Greg Sinus. And that is his first. Rich McCann will be at the line for 1. 59-47. Rutland leads it by 12. Shot by Rich is good. Is it going to count? I think we have a lane violation against MSJ. No basket. No basket, so the score remains Rutland 59, MSJ 47. Carboneau into the forecourt. Carboneau picked up by Hebert out front. Both teams in the man-to-man. Down the left sideline to Stempek. Wanted to go to Lynn, and it was deflected. It goes out of bounds. It goes off Mark Hebert. It'll be Rutland's basketball. Tim Candon checks in for MSJ, and he checks in for Greg Fuller. 1:26 left in the ball game. Rutland's basketball. Carboneau looking to throw the ball into play from the baseline. Carboneau looking around, loops it all the way out front. It'll go all the way into the backcourt for Barron as he picks it up. Throws into the forecourt for Carboneau down the left sideline. Carboneau dribbles out near midcourt. That's not a backcourt violation because on an inbounds play, you have the whole court to throw the ball into play. As most people would know, I believe. Carboneau's fouled. He'll be at the line for 2. Fouled by Hebert, and Hebert's fouled out. So the Mounties have had 2 players who have fouled out. Joe Lane fouled out earlier, and Mark Hebert fouling out right here. As Carboneau will be at the line for 2. And when they threw the ball into play and it went into the backcourt there from inbounds, I thought we'd hear the usual groan, but nobody said a peep. So I guess everybody knew about the rule, huh? Todd Martineau checks in for MSJ for Mark Hebert, who just fouled out.
It's got to be one of the most misunderstood rules, Jack, that backcourt violation.
Well, everybody here apparently either isn't paying attention or knows the rule.
Even has some of the officials confused, because I see one of them missed one in the game last week over in Poultney.
Carboneau hits the first. He'll get another as Rutland goes up 60-47. 1:13 left in the ball game. Aaron's second shot is up, around the rim, no good, and the rebound is controlled by Tom McCann. Gets it to Rich McCann. Well, the Raiders have the 13-point lead. Rich McCann almost lost it, picked it up again, left side of the circle, gets it out to Pete Tomasi. Tomasi at the left side of the lane is 15-footer, no good off the glass. Rebounded John Lynn, covers up and dribbles up once, and then goes to Mike Stempeck. Stempeck into the forecourt, and he's traveling. 53.8 seconds left of the ball game, and the Raiders are going to win the Fireman's Cup for the second straight year. We'll get the cup right in front of us here, off to our left. Rich McCann into the forecourt. Picked up by Carboneau. To the right sideline to Todd Martineau. Dribbles once out to Rich McCann for three, right side of the circle. It's no good. And he was fouled by Aaron Carboneau. Fouled in the act of shooting a three, and we said tonight one of the rarest plays of all, and we've seen it 3 times. I believe all in this quarter, right? And John Center getting a kick out of looking at his former coach, who really loves that, fouling at somebody in the act of shooting a three. Rich McCann will be at the line for 3 shots, and the first shot is good. He has 2 more coming. 60-48, a 12-point Raider lead with 42.8 seconds left in the ball game.
Dave's getting more balled by every foul. I'm just glad I'm not the one committing them fouls.
Second shot by McCann is good. I said he had another one coming, actually 2 more. Now he's got 1 coming. As he's hit the first 2, it is 60-49. Rutland with the 11-point lead. Third shot by McCann is good, gets all 3. It is 60-50, a 10-point Raider lead. Some full court pressure by the Mounties as Carboneau has it. 39 seconds left in the ball game. Carboneau dribbles into the forecourt, then gets double teamed, dribbles to the right, loops it intended for Stempeck. It goes out of bounds. It'll be MSJ's basketball with 33 seconds left in the ball game. MSJ closing the gap a little bit here. Helped out by the 3 free throws for sure by Rich McCann. McCann with the basketball right now. Rich McCann dribbles right to left, gets it out to Todd Martineau, chases it down left sideline. 20 seconds left in the ball game. Out to Cannon, top of the circle for 3. It's short, rebound to Carboneau. Carboneau dribbles up for Rutland High. 12 seconds left in the ball game. Carboneau on the bounce down the sideline to Stempeck. Down low to Sinus, left baseline. His turnaround is good. It is Rutland 62, MSJ 54 seconds left. Tomasi into the forecourt, right side of the circle for 3, around the rim, no good, and that's the ball game. And Rutland has won it by a score of 62-50. That's your final. Rutland High 62, MSJ 50. The Raiders sweep the City Series, and for the second straight year after winning the City Series, the Raiders go home with a Fireman's Cup. More importantly for Coach Dave Kinsman and company, the Raiders move to 5-2 in the league and are now 9-6 overall. The Mounties are 1-6 in league play and 2-15 overall. That's your final. Rutland High 62, MSJ 50. We'll wrap it up after this timeout.
Captain of the Raiders, please come forward.